Okay, we're streaming and recording. So I don't know if this will show up. It might. It will on the recording. Okay. It's working on Twitch. Okay, so hi everybody. I have the unusual stream setup still, but one thing I do want to warn everyone right now is that sound isn't on right now because I'm not in the Euro Truck Simulator window. So I'm gonna left click on it in about 5 seconds, and it might be really loud. It might be really quiet. I have no idea. So just prepare yourselves. All right. If it's really loud, let me know and I'll turn it down. Okay, so it's pretty loud for me, but I have it turned way down on OBS, so let me know. Is it really loud for you guys, or is it just okay?
It's good. Not too loud.
It's not too loud for stream? Okay. It's kind of quiet, but that's perfect Q&A? Yeah, that's good. Okay, so yeah, so this is the much belated Patreon Q&A, plus we'll be answering some questions from chat. Just a couple things before we get started. We're gonna spend some time, probably about 15 minutes, just warming up and just kind of getting the stream going until everyone gets here before we start answering questions from the Patreon list. But we'll also be taking questions from chat. I think this is probably going to be one of maybe even 3 streams for this. Don't you think, Lily?
I have no idea how long it's going to take. I don't know how in depth the questions are. I didn't go through them.
Yeah, it's pretty late here already, but we want to get some of it done. It's also Lily's birthday, or it was yesterday. So
it's not anymore.
So we were doing that for Lily's birthday. We were meant to start 2 hours ago, but Finn took just so long to fall asleep. Finn took so long to fall asleep that I fell asleep up there with him. And I'm pretty sure I fell asleep before he fell asleep. And then I woke up, and he'd only been asleep for just a little bit, and then I came downstairs. As always, if one of the boys wakes up very, very poorly or badly with a nightmare thing, the stream is over. So that's just how it is with these late night streams, unfortunately. And our setup is less than ideal at the moment. There's probably a little bit more echo on the microphone than I would like, and I'm sitting here reading chat on my tablet that is propped up on my desk. Waffles drive upon, yeah. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Anyway, so let's. I have never played this game before, as you can see. Newbie level 0, distance driven 0 kilometers. I have no idea what to do. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to drive properly. I just picked the default city where it set me up, and yeah, I'm hoping that this is just going to be a chill game. I can just drive around while talking to you guys. That's how I hope it's going to go down. If anyone has played this game, which I think they probably have in chat because the game is weirdly popular, then maybe they can help me out. And I think I need to see the mini map in the bottom left. Sorry, bottom right. So I'm gonna move my tablet so I can see it. All right. So how's that? Can you guys still hear me and everything? It's Joey Anderman live and direct from the Canada. Exactly.
Thanks to everybody who's wishing me a happy birthday and happy belated. And happy birthday to Last Judge 07, whose birthday is today. And happy belated birthday to, where did it go? Ariel Stannis, whose birthday was on the 2nd. So I have some birthday buddies here.
Happy birthday.
I'm not alone.
Happy birthday. Jenny Nicholson is live. Jenny Nicholson's pretty good. I like Jenny Nicholson, if that's who I'm thinking of. She's the one that did the Suicide Squad video, right? I like Jenny Nicholson. Am I driving on the wrong side of the street? I am, aren't I? We've already crashed. Oh god, the controller has vibration. Oh no.
That scared me.
Oh, that's awful. Alright, I have to unplug that. Oh no. Oh no. It's already awful. It's already bad. Can I get out? Okay. I think we're rumbled, everybody. What does F1 do? Pause or pause the game, toggle side mirrors. Oh, okay. Alright. Sorry, Lily, go ahead.
What?
You were talking, weren't you, before I so rudely interrupted? With my poor Euro truck driving skills.
Oh, I was just saying happy birthday to the people whose birthday it was and now is, since it is no longer mine anymore. I can thank some people though. Thank you to Anna Hannah, maybe? No. Yinana? I'm sorry. There's a lot of sounds that I don't know how to say here. Who subscribed with Prime 6 minutes ago, though, so thank you. If you're here, I have no idea how to say your name. Maybe you could tell me.
Thank you very much. Someone's asking how old I am in chat. I'm 32. I'm 33 in November. My birthday is the day that Fallout 76 comes out.
Thank you to Rodans, who subscribed with Prime.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's Yanana. Sorry. Very sorry. I butchered it. Thank you to Rodans. Thank you to Hiwasabi, who resubscribed for 9 months. Thank you to Fisk, who resubscribed for 4 months and says, when will you admit Becky is the best waifu?
She was okay. I just didn't like that she lied. But she was okay.
Thank you to Pencil Burner, who resubscribed for 9 months and says, congrats on the new place.
Thank you, Pencil Burner. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Ariel Stannis, who resubscribed for 9 months, and said, my birthday was on the 2nd. We're almost birthday buddies. Also, if I was a baby, I'd be carried to term by now.
Oh, because of the yeah, okay, yeah. I understand. Thank you, Ariel Stannis.
Thank you to Finn Styles, who resubscribed for 7 months and says, we skipped the Lollier season 2. Lolly Lair?
Lolly Lair. Welcome to the Lolly Lair. Yeah, there's no cringy welcomes just yet. I'm sure that when I'm by myself that they'll come back.
But we are stronger than ever with Lolly Slayer season 4, baby.
Okay.
BB. Thank you to Xfia, who resubscribed for 2 months, and thank you to BTG99, who subscribed with Prime.
Thank you very much to both of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. The thank yous will probably be more low-key tonight because, like I said, I can't see the subs. Lily's going to be the one that reads them out. And I find it kind of hard. There's like a disconnect there between that. So we'll be saying thank you as much as we can, but there won't be any extravagant thank you. So if you'd like to get the full cringe treatment, you might want to wait for a different stream.
Apparently we missed It's Just Athena's resub.
Did we?
So
well, thank you for the resub.
It's Just Athena.
It's Just Athena. Thank you. How's my driving, chat? I don't know how to drive in real life. I'm actually going to start learning soon, if I'm allowed, because I have a sleep disorder, and I think I can do it. The sky looks really good. How's my driving? Pretty terrifying, right?
Where did we live in Toronto? You're from Regent Park. We lived in Scarborough.
Yeah, we lived in Scarborough. Engine malfunction. Visit service as soon as possible. Oh no. Oh no. Sorry guys, my engine's malfunctioning.
How's my driving? Call 1-800. I don't give a shit.
Maybe this isn't going to be a good game for this sort of thing. If I'm going to have to go get the car serviced and everything.
The town where I live in England is called Scarborough. That's probably where it came from. So a lot of our cities and stuff here in Canada are named after stuff like that. You're not going to stop and exchange insurance info?
I thought I could just plow right through it, and it didn't let me. All right, can we just restart? Can we restart, please? Can we please restart? Is there a restart button? Job market. For the love of God, please just let me be able to restart. Okay, will this work? Take job. All right. Oh God.
Thank you to Falzar25 who resubscribed with Prime for 7 months and says, "Hi guys, good to see you again. I hope you go back to early streams so I can work properly. Feliz cumpleaños, Lily." Thank you. And 25 for Joseph. What does it mean? Pop quiz.
It's numbers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't numbers?
It's numbers.
Say it again.
25.
25. It's 25, isn't it?
Yes.
I remember.
There you go. He's learning. He's getting
I
better.
remembered. I was expelled. How do I visit services? Call
you proud? I'm
assistant
proud.
service. Enter. All right.
I'm so happy, Mexican Joseph. We'll call him Jose for the rest of the day.
We did it. We got through it. We got through it. We got through it. Jose Anderson, we got through it.
Happy birthday, Lily. Joe, you plan to play the Prey DLC Moonshot?
What? Moonshock?
Moonshot?
It's Moon Crash, isn't it? Are you making? What do you say? Moonshock?
Moonshot, like a
Moonshot? Oh, I thought it was Moon. It's Moon Crash, isn't it? I thought you might have said Moon Shock, like the joke on System Shock. I played it a little bit. I tried it out last night for maybe 30 minutes just to see if it would run and see how it goes, because this is a mostly new computer and I haven't really done much on it. It seemed fun. I'll probably do that as my first stream during the day. What do you mean engine malfunction? I thought we just got checked out. I thought that's what the service was. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna finish it with engine malfunction. Yeah, so that'll probably be the first one I do when we start streaming during the day again, which might be tomorrow. I doubt it, but it might be. We'll see.
monitor's not here.
We got so many boxes, but the second monitor isn't here yet.
But it could come tomorrow.
It could come tomorrow, yeah.
There's still a bunch missing. I keep thinking of stuff that's still not here still. There's little, I don't know if they're all together or not, or how many boxes are actually missing.
Was I supposed to repair while I was there? Like that just sent me there. It didn't do the repairs. That sucks. I'm a very bad truck driver.
Well, thank you again for the birthday wishes, and Haltfire, yes, I did have a good one today. Thank you for asking. Nothing special, but it was good. Well, it's actually a lie. I had nachos for dinner, so that was kind of special. Nachos in Moncton have proven very difficult to find that are actually edible, so that was good. They were decent. They weren't as good as, you know, my usual one, but they were a huge improvement, so that's good. I'm happy. I've been wanting them since we got here. There was a great local place we used to order from that had great nachos.
When do the squares on the ground appear and I drive over them and I get turtle shells to throw at other trucks?
Congrats on the move. Glad all of you are safe. Welcome to the Maritimes. Come up to Cape Breton sometime.
Thanks. That was a full stop there. Thanks, Cape Breton. Did you do anything about that?
I've heard it's very pretty. I'm not sure. I've never been there. It's Nova Scotia, isn't it? Am I wrong? Maybe it's not Nova Scotia.
Turn. I stopped for you.
Where is it? Remind me. My geography's awful.
No, I'm not stopping for you. I stopped for one guy already. I only stopped for one person. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, other truck. It's my game. It's Euro Truck Simulator, not Euro Trucks Simulator.
I'm not crazy. It's Nova Scotia.
It's Nova Scotia? That's good.
The Northern Ireland in Nova Scotia. Thank you to Nebelhut, who subscribed with Prime, and thank you to Roxanne Mixtape, who resubscribed for 2 months and says, don't know what this is, but I'll share. Happy birthday, Lily. Thank you very much, Roxanne.
Roxanne. Thank you. Thank you very much to both of you. Thank you, thank you.
Every time he sees your name in Discord, he does that.
Rox.
Without fail.
Take me
Mandalorian's
home. Euro roads. To the place of love. Almost 7. West Europe.
Thank you to Cold Decay, who subscribed with
Lots of
Prime.
cheese. Lots of rain.
Thank you very much, all of you.
Oh, I didn't pay the toll. Sorry. Sorry. A million pardons. I didn't hit enter to pay the toll. I wonder if there's, I'm gonna be late now. Mandalore's here?
Yeah.
How's it going, Mandy? I think we're gonna get started with the questions now. This has gone on a little bit too long. I'm gonna have to turn this off and put clicker heroes back on or something. It's a little bit distracting. I was expecting this to be a lot more casual. I was expecting, well, let me rephrase that. I was expecting a casual mode where I could just drive. Yeah, and that's not happening. But so far, I think it has a chance. I just wish my truck wasn't broken. There's a radio in this game. Turn it on.
Thank you to Smith C3K, who resubscribed for 8 months and says, hey, congrats on the new home and happy birthday, Lily. Just wondering, are you still planning the Nier Automata bit? Hope all is well.
Yes, but it won't be for a while. It might even be next year at this point, because I'm going to finish all the projects I have going at the moment. I'll probably say this quite a few times during the next few streams. I'm going to finish the God of War finish the God of War video. Then I'll be finishing 2 or 3 other projects that I have half complete. One is a 2017 review, game, like top 10 list, that sort of thing. It'll be more than just games, I think. And also a video I have on 3 Super Nintendo games. Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, or Illusion of Time, depending on where you are. And Terranigma. And there might be one other project that I'll finish as well. I haven't decided yet. I won't say what it is just yet. And then it's Witcher time. Witcher, I'm expecting is going to take me a few months. I don't know when it's going to be done, but it will be done this year unless something awful happens. And after that, I don't know how much time I'll have left for a big project, and I probably won't want to do another big project after that, right? Yeah, I don't know. After The Witcher's done, I might take a short break that doesn't involve moving across the country and buying a fucking house, and actually, you know, relaxing for a little bit, because I think it's going to be a huge project. But we'll see. I say that, and Lily rolls her eyes because I just can't turn it off.
Over here.
It's just
works.
constant. Yeah, I'm always trying to do something. So we'll see. I know it doesn't feel like that right now because there's been such a delay, but that's because of the move. As we went into details in the story, but yeah, Automata will happen. As some, you know, extending an olive branch to people that are really excited for it. I have almost, and I do stress the almost, certainly decided that I'll be playing the other games as well leading up to it, so I can get a full view of it. I didn't want to do that, and I didn't want it to turn into that big project. But now that I'm doing The Witcher first, I can justify it. And I'll try and play some of the other games beforehand. I don't know if I'll play them all, but I'll play like Drakengard and... Oh no! What is this made out of? Is it made out of the same stuff that Wolverine's claws are made out of? Like what? Is it made out of adamantium, vibrarium? Like what the hell is it made out of?
So thank you, Smith C3K. Thank you, Kevin Crawfish, who resubscribed for 8 months. And says, Roxanne.
You should just play Nier for the story. Drakengard is just to understand Yoko Taro. Drakengard looked interesting. I don't know why, because usually I'm immune to this sort of stuff. But the image of the anime girl with the flower for an eye is really enticing to me. Not in the way that most weeaboos will find enticing. I mean, I look at that and I want to go, what the fuck is her story? Because it's just so weird. And that makes me want to, and I think that's Drakengard, right? Like every single time I've seen that picture, I've been like, well, what the fuck is that game? And it just catches my interest. But yeah.
Thank you, Madbake. And thank you to Kevin Crawfish, who gifted a sub to Seth. Yes.
And then I kind of black out, and when I come back to, there's a bunch of Hentai Haven bookmarks in my search history, and I don't even know what that place is. But then I think I should play Draken. Oh no. Too busy making a joke.
So thank you, Kevin, and welcome to. And thank you to Ralph Clogs, who just resubscribed for 5 months and says happy Lilyversary, Lily. I think the bar could have been unobtainium.
That's a nice way of saying that, Lilyversary.
Nice.
That's
Thank
nice.
you very much, Ralph Clogs.
Thank you, Ralph Clogs. Okay, so let's start with the first Patreon question. How Joe knows what Hentai Haven is, though. Do you guys want the serious answer? Because I saw a tweet of it. H Bomber guy had tweeted one of his meetups. Let's meet up, and in the background, his computer had Google open to, and he had just searched for a hentai, and Hentai Haven was the first one. And then I was like, what the fuck is Hentai Haven? And then I found out what Hentai Haven was. But I already knew what hentai was before that. Like that, I've been on the internet for long enough to know. Okay, are we here? We're done? Let's play it safe. We're doing what? Sorry, I'm in a hurry. No, where do you need it? Where do you need it? Head towards the flag on your map. This was a mistake, wasn't it? This was a mistake. Hmm?
Should have played Clicker.
Yeah, should have played Clicker. Okay, this is the rest of the show. Is it really? Skip the parking in the trailer and complete this delivery. You will miss precise parking bonus. Press enter. Okay, is this really hard? For those joining late, I don't know how to drive in real life. It's really hard? Okay. Alright, we skipped it. Late. Death penalty. Okay. I hope our truck is repaired. I hope it gets to a bonfire. This is your headquarters. It's a pretty basic garage. It may not be much, but it's a start. Unfortunately, you haven't got anything to park in there yet, so there are no trucks in sight. Once you've earned enough money and bought a truck, you will be able to move in the world freely and run your own business from here. Good luck. Alright, well, can I take a job then? Okay, radio. Should I put the radio on? Radio stream. I'm not doing that. Alright. Job market. Okay. Quick job. Okay, so should we do Euro goodies? Okay, someone in chat tell me which job to take out of these ones. Someone who's played it before, while Lily gets the next question. So, are you ready to do that?
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. Someone tell me what to do while I read something in chat. Just wanted to say thank you for letting us use some of your stream footage in our videos. It made my Undertale a lot easier to put together. Also, a follow-up question: do you still play WoW, or when did you quit? And if you did quit, why? No problem using the footage. Yeah, and anybody can use any of it. It's fine. Like, you don't even need to ask me. It's fine. Top one is the best one. I don't play WoW anymore. I quit probably properly sometime during Warlords of Draenor. It just really wasn't holding my interest anymore. But the real reason why I didn't go back and I only played a little bit of Legion is because of the channel and because of the kids. I just don't have time to do anymore. It's just not worth it to me anymore. And I just can't. I just couldn't do it. I like to play World of Warcraft for the rating, and it's too much of a commitment. I miss it though. I miss it a lot. I don't really miss the game as much as I miss the social interaction of raiding. But it's paid off a little bit because I used to raid for hours and hours and hours and hours, and I think that's helped me have the stamina to stream a lot. Okay, how do I turn with the big thing behind me? Because I don't know how to do that. Anyway, Lily, go ahead and read the first set of questions from Patreon, please. Let's finally get started.
Carlos S. asks, "Hi, Joe and Lily. Hope everything's fine with both of you. My question to Joe is this. When you look back at games from your childhood, how much do you think your opinion has changed now that you are more used to critiquing games? Can you give any examples of games that you loved that you view more negatively now, and say why? I would also like to know of a game that you loved and that you have an even bigger appreciation for now that you understand games better. Hope that's a good question. Thank you for everything you do, for being an inspiration to me and a 10 out of 10 dude."
Oh, thank you so much. That was a nice compliment there. Thank you. Let me paraphrase the question because I'm a little tired and I should probably do this for all the questions tonight, so I can make sure that I understand them, or at least you understand how I understood them. So if my answer is completely off the mark, at least you can follow it a little bit. So the question is: now that I'm older and also run a games criticism channel, how do games from my childhood stack up? Are there any that I view quite as lesser games now when I loved them when I was a kid, and are there any that have even gotten better in my eyes instead of worse? So straight away I can say that there are games that are story-based and story-driven that have not held up well. And the reason they haven't held up well is not because I am a games critic. They haven't held up well because I'm just an adult now. And a lot of them are for children, and they're just not good if you're an adult. And I'm just going. Good luck, everybody else. Yeah, so it's they're just not there's just not good stories. So even those stories that I like a lot, like Chrono Trigger, the early Final Fantasies, Final Fantasy IV especially, all those kinds. When I was a kid, Final Fantasy IV was riveting, and I do mean that with no exaggeration, just riveting. I was so enthralled with Final Fantasy IV's story. Sorry, someone just quoted, I'm going, good luck, everyone. Riveting. And yeah, you play it now, and I think there's a joke in one of my videos. I can't remember what it is, which one it is. It might be the Diablo one, where I flash on the screen, Final Fantasy IV's defining characteristic was suicidal characters that have these grand monologues before they try and kill themselves to save the day. What's really weird is that Final Fantasy IV, for whatever reason, Final Fantasy IV I think has been remade and remixed more than any other Final Fantasy game. Maybe there's a huge Final Fantasy fan in chat that will correct me if there's another game that's been remade. But I know there's like the Game Boy Advance version, the DS version, which was made in 3D, that sort of thing. The parts of the story changed a lot between those versions. I remember characters that died in the Super Nintendo version that don't. Oh, I thought I have to go in that one. Okay, well, we're still going this one. We're committed. That come back to life in later versions, and it kind of ruins their sacrifice, and it kind of cheapens it a little bit. But yeah, anyway, to not get too off track. So that story was riveting to me, and I played as an adult, and I just don't care. It's just such a bad story for an adult, but it's great for kids. So it's hard to judge that. Secret of Evermore is another one that I think that I enjoyed more as a kid. I won't as an adult, but there's a lot of sort of weird adult humor in that one. And by adult humor, I don't mean mature humor or like sex jokes or anything. I mean, there's a lot of parodies and references to to B movies and stuff like that, that I don't think a kid growing up at the time that Secret of More came out would enjoy at all or even understand. And I didn't understand them when I was young. Maybe I'm wrong though, but yeah. So some of those older games are kind of weird when it comes to stories, and I think that's where I'm gonna lead into the main point of the older games, is that I find that in terms of gameplay and even structure, a lot of older games are quite elegant. They're quite they're focused. They're only about a couple of things. They have a point. They have this much more simple kind of main thing that they're trying to do, and that makes them quite appealing still. You can go back to a lot of those older games and you can just pick up and play, and normally you're in control and you're playing within seconds of hitting new game too. Of course, some RPGs aren't going to be like that. Some RPGs are going to take a little while to get warmed up, but side scrollers, platformers, Mega Man X, all those Super Nintendo games, NES games too, Heroes of Might and Magic, Crystalis, actually I can't remember Crystalis, Rygar, stuff like those, Mario 3. You're going to be playing within seconds, and you get right into it, and it's fun. A lot of them hold up. You're running, jumping, hitting, shooting, and on that level, some of them might have even gotten better, because a lot of games today try and do too much, I think, and that idea isn't wrong. It's not flawed to try to do too much. It's just the execution has to be there as well, and the execution often isn't there, unfortunately. So a lot of those games are still fun to go back, and I think this is beyond the scope of the question, really. And I would like to I'd like to look at it a little bit more, actually, because it's making me think right now. What's been lost in from then to now? That this just this playability, this pure playability. So yeah, to answer your question, most games have held up if they're focused on gameplay, and I've probably enjoyed them more. I really enjoy Mega Man X's still, 1, 2, and 3. I don't know which one's my favorite of those. I think there's going to be a collection coming out soon, and I haven't really played anything after 3 that extensively. I think I've beaten 4. But any of the ones that came on the PlayStation, I can barely remember. I played them only a little bit. And those have held up. Anything that's action focused, it's the RPGs that haven't, even in terms of gameplay, because it's just kind of boring now. Secret of Mana is probably the game that I enjoyed the most as a child, and now I dislike the most as an adult. It's just really, really... Oh, rip that guy. Sorry. Just really, really slow, really tedious. He's just staring in front, just like, don't move, and trucks are like T-Rexes, just don't. No, what are you doing? No, I was moving. Okay, just go, dude, just go. Yeah. Secret of Mana has probably held up the worst out of any game that I really, really, really loved as a kid. It just goes on for too long. The combat, you have these really annoying waiting sessions to get to 100% stamina in order to do another attack. Magic is just kind of busted. It's all slow. You're going through menus. You have to wait for animations to play. Sometimes enemies just randomly go immune to damage because they're casting spells and you have no idea how to do it. Sorry, and you have no idea how to tell most of the time. At least that's how I remember it. You have to hold down the attack button to charge up these big, mega long combos that take forever and slow you down while you're doing it. If you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. It's not a bad game, but I loved that game when I was a kid, and I don't even think I could stomach it now to finish it. So, yeah, that's probably the big one for me. Yeah, and anything that's gets closer to RPG starts to dwindle a bit. Yeah, pretty much anything. Part of the reason why I like Final Fantasy VI so much, I think, is because the battles are so quick. You compare that to the later ones on the PlayStation, and just getting into battle just takes so long. You have the zoom in and and then the battle starts in the music and the sweep across the battlefield, and then you select the attack, and there's a wind up animation, and they travel across the level and they hit it. I think Final Fantasy VII is better than that, than Final Fantasy 8 and 9, but everything just takes so goddamn long. Whereas Final Fantasy VI, it's also quick. Even the summons are just really, really fast. Chrono Trigger is similar, and I like the active battle system and how Chrono Trigger has the enemies on the screen. But I would say even those two, which are some of my favorite games, haven't held up as much. For PC games, Dungeon Keeper is something that I've grown to appreciate more and more as time has gone on. I think Dungeon Keeper is genuinely one of the best games that's ever been made. And I think a lot of that is an accident. I don't think that they intended it to be as good as it is. It's just a really, really, really great game for reasons I went to in the video. And I think that's it. I could probably keep going for an hour with more examples, but I think I've made my point for the most part. What do you think, Lily?
I'm not a good judge, but I think so.
There's something to do with the simplicity of older games that is really appealing, and you can see it in stuff like Celeste and Super Meat Boy, games like that that Paris discovered. Oh damn! No one knew where it was until now. Indies are tapping into that way more than the big game developers, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not right with what I'm saying right now. Maybe I'm just taking an easy avenue of discussion from what we just said and going with it. If I thought about it for a long time, maybe I would completely disagree with what I'm saying right now.
Carlos says, thank you so much for answering my question.
You're welcome. You had more, didn't you?
No, I think that was it. There was examples of them and what hasn't held up and what are giving you appreciation for.
Oh, okay. You're welcome, Carlos. Thank you for the question. It was a very good question. Thank you. Someone chat is saying, Joseph, what is a genre you can play multiple times without getting bored of? Personally, it's roguelikes. Want to hear about yours. Yeah, roguelikes are there, but it needs to be a specific game for me. Enter the Gungeon is a game that has a lot of longevity for me, and I've played that for a long time, and it still has my attention. There's something about Dark Souls that really gets to me too. I don't know why. On the surface, Dark Souls isn't really a game that should have a lot of replayability, but I think there's just something about completely conquering a game like that really appeals to me. I think other people too, because a lot of people replay it as well. I would likely be playing Nioh a lot right now if I had time. I'd be going through that again and again and going through the same thing. Because I played Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 a lot over and over again. I didn't really play Bloodborne as much as I wanted to. But yeah, there's something appealing about that. Celeste would probably be another one as well. Celeste was fun, especially because of the hidden moves that are in that game. And I saw the speedrun recently, and that seemed like a lot of fun. I don't know, and any action-based system that has multiple solutions, for lack of a better term, that you can go through and you can experiment and you can do different things, I think is gonna be able to hold my attention a lot. Puzzle games, obviously, you're not going to be playing them again and again. But you did say genres, you didn't say specific games. I don't know. I don't really stick to genres anymore, and my time with games is really skewed with channel work. But clearly, if history has proven anything over the past year, it's Japanese RPGs that keep calling me back. Right? They're my siren, ready to drag me down if I ever get too close. Is it Ralph Clogs that's next?
Yeah, but
I remember.
Just before we do Ralph Clogs, let's thank a few people before it gets too long. Thank you to Thulu Calamari, who resubscribed for 6 months.
Cthulhu?
I think that's how you say it. I
Yeah.
can't say it.
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
Not
so.
Cthulhu, which is how I used to say it. It's Cthulhu. Cthulhu Calamari. It's
Calamari.
a really good name, that. Cthulhu Calamari.
Thank you to KevTron3, who subscribed with Prime.
Thank you.
Thank you to Frickin' Moron, who resubscribed for 6 months. Thank you to Ninjali Blitzer, who
Thank you, frickin' moron.
Ninjali Blitzer, who used 100 bits and says, finally, Joffrey is playing a real game.
Oh, no.
And thank you to
What?
Makoto Best Girl, who subscribed with Prime.
I don't want your subscription. Makoto Best... I don't want your subscription. Go give it to someone who'd appreciate it, like Mandalore. Red lights aren't for trucks. Red lights aren't for trucks.
And you have two people who've said several times now. One has seen your Actraiser video and wants to know if you'll marry them.
Oh, wow. Someone who watched the Actraiser video.
And somebody
there
else...
There are dozens of you. Sorry, go ahead.
And somebody else who wants to know if you've read any Cormac McCarthy, and that's the Road guy, right?
Yes. Also Blood Meridian, which I haven't read, but I've only read The Road. I liked it a lot, and I would like to read more of his. But he does kind of have he does kind of have something stuck up his ass. IMO. I read an article after I read The Road, and there was a word, and it was a very pretty word, and there's a word in it, and it's Salitter. Maybe I'm not even saying it right. SALITTER, Salitter, and he uses it in a sentence, and it's basically, if I remember correctly, it's describing how in that moment he could feel holiness and God all around in the world and the earth around him in that moment. So the Salitter in the earth or something. Wait, am I going in there? No, I'm going further down. Or am I not? No, is this it? And I read an article afterwards, and it's like this. God damn it! And it's this word that's been dead and hasn't been used in like 100 years. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, no one's gonna know. And the article was filleting him for doing that. And maybe I'm just being an anti-hipster for once by being annoyed by that. But that kind of ground my gears a little bit.
But you like The Road.
But I did like the book very much overall. Yes.
Okay, so Ralph Plugs says, "Hello, Joe and Lily. I hope your month has calmed down a bit from house hunting. I recently got a 3DS game called Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers. That's mainly an action tower defense game. Unexpectedly, I also found it has a charming mini game about stocking shelves and running a cash register in a corner store. And even though it's not spectacular, I'm quite fond of how cute it is."
Do you get to sell things and haggle?
"Do you have any examples where a game unexpectedly changes gameplay completely for side content and pleasantly surprised you?"
Ooh, okay, that's a tough question. I kind of want to say no, but because I think I'm gonna struggle to really answer that question. But maybe not. Maybe there is one. There is something, or at least more than one. I want more than one answer. I've already thought of one, but I want there to be more than one. This is gonna surprise a lot of people because they were mostly hated. I really enjoyed the Starship segments in the Old Republic RPG. The online one. I really enjoyed them. I know a lot of people didn't, but I had a lot of fun with those, and I wish they had done more with them. I think they did do more with them afterwards. And some people did end up enjoying them quite a bit. But yeah, I enjoyed them a lot more than I was expecting. They reminded me of Star Fox a lot, and I enjoyed Star Fox. They remind me of Rogue Squadron a little bit, and I liked that too. And yeah, so I wish they had done more with them, and I wish they'd been a little more popular. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Star Wars: The Old Republic is mostly a traditional kind of WoW theme park RPG, and sort of a mix of WoW meets The Old Republic, and you can control everyone gets a starship, and you can go on missions in your starship, and you can fly around with your mouse and dodge bullets, and I think you can barrel roll, and you can shoot. You can't control where you fly. Well, you can. You can't control the camera behind the ship that's guiding you where you're going. So again, it's sort of like Star Fox, but you can fly within the range of the camera, and it's fun. I enjoyed it. Okay, so what am I doing wrong here? Because I don't know how to turn this. Is there a way to lock it in place? I don't know how to drive. Do a barrel roll. Yeah, you can do a barrel roll. You gotta waggle it in.
Someone said you can use your mirrors too. Your mirrors are your friend.
I know people must be shocked right now that I don't know how to drive, seeing me doing this right now. But yeah, I don't know how to drive. I know it's amazing. SWTOR is trash though. It was okay. It had some really bad moments and it wasn't finished, but it was okay. Okay, I give up. Someone in chat is saying Chalice Dungeons qualify for this question. If that's the case, then that's probably my favorite. Absolutely, I really enjoyed the Chalice Dungeons, and I would like a whole game that's just made out of that. Unfortunately, there was one, and apparently it wasn't very good. I can't remember what it was called though. I am a liar. I just remembered. Necropolis, I think it was. I think I have it, but I haven't tried it. Everyone said it was pretty bad. So yeah, I'd like to see someone take another stab at that. Preferably From. I would like to see. I'd like to see From try it again. Someone in chat is saying Undertale. Undertale, so the switch between RPG and sort of bullet hell dodging kind of thing. How did we crash already? All right, nice. All right, we're not even out of the parking lot. We've already crashed. I don't know if that counts. If it does, then yeah, absolutely. I really enjoyed the different modes in Undertale. Unless you guys are talking about snail racing. Didn't really enjoy the snail racing. I'm trying to think. What there must be something. There must be some game that has just a fantastic mini game. Gwent is probably going to be a good one when I finally do play Witcher 3. Everyone loves Gwent. I never really got into the Pokemon battles in World of Warcraft like I thought I would. I thought that would be my jam, but no, it wasn't. There just wasn't enough to it compared to Pokemon, which is saying something because Pokemon is pretty simple. Opus Magnum has Sigmar's Garden. That looked interesting. It was kind of like a mix of Solitaire, wasn't it? A weird kind of visualization on Solitaire. That looked interesting. Sorry that I can't give you a good answer, Ralph Clogs. It's hard for me to just remember a specific thing like that in a game. Did you get the Peggle add-on in WoW? I actually did. I had that installed for a little while. I really like Peggle, but mostly because of the big celebration when you win. You remember that, Lee?
Sorry.
Do you remember the big celebration when you win in Peggle?
Yes. It makes it all worth it. Some of those ones are hard.
Yeah.
So it's really worth it when that happens. Peggle's a game I have played. I didn't play the whole thing, but I played. So that's something for once that I actually have an opinion
on. We can stretch it and look at things, alternate game modes that you can kind of impose on yourself. That can be fun, right? But I don't know. I don't think that's gonna be that's gonna properly qualify for your question. I'm trying really hard to think of something. What was the game Final Fantasy VIII? Was it Triple Triad? That had some appeal. Anything in a game that has you going out of your way to collect things can get me too. Achievement hunting in World of Warcraft was a big one. Just going out of my way to get stupid achievements, but that game has a lot of stupid shit like that to keep you interested. Like the fishing minigame in that too. But the whole game is based around trying to keep you locked in. Headlights. How do I turn my headlights on? I'll turn them on if you want. How do I turn them on? F. Oh, I can indicate. Lights aren't for trucks. I agree. L. There we go. Do you think the L stands for lights? Hey.
Are you done with this question?
I think so. There's sorry, the you know the little animal in the wheel on my head is running like crazy because I feel like there's something right on the tip of my tongue, you know that there's an alternate game mode in a game that I'm like I think maybe it might have been a city builder or something that I remember thinking this is better than the main game and I wish the whole game had been this instead. It might even be something that's recent as well. And I'm really trying to think. Oh well, I'm sorry, Ralph Vlogs. You give me such great puns on Discord too. If I can remember it, I'll interrupt myself mid sentence to go on about it. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, Ralph Vlogs. Tired and
okay, get back to me.
Okay, what's the next question, Lily? Did Ralph Vlogs have another one, or was that his only question?
No.
What happened there?
The next one is a big one, though.
Okay.
Maxine H says, "What the frog is up, Joe and Lily?"
What the frog? Okay, I like that.
So I've got this replica animal skull in my house now for photos that I just stare at sometimes. So I've become very inquisitive and introspective. So brace for some questions.
Did you name it Yorick?
Also, some peeps in chat last time were like, "What, Maxine? You didn't put your Instagram in the message while saying I can't get exposure." Well, Inquitary? Or Inquitari?
Inquitari? Okay, I can't see the screen right now. Hold on, let's just handbrake in the middle of the street.
Uetari.
Anquuetari. Yep. That's the name. Okay.
It's very pretty looking, but I've never seen it before. Is the name, you can say it or put it in chat if you want, but in the end, it's your stream, your choice. Okay, ramble over question 1. In your Prey video, when you mentioned the derelict shuttle, is it derelict or derelict? It's derelict, right?
Derelict, yeah.
I've never had to say it out loud. Shuttle, and how you weren't sure what kind of reward should have been in the shuttle. I've been thinking about that while stroking my chin and staring at my animal skull, of course, and came to the conclusion that when a game like Prey has its type of upgrade system, the reward should be some piece on top of that skill. Some piece on to top off that skill, sorry.
Okay.
For example, let's say the shuttle's door would have you doing the hardest hacking section in the game with the highest level skills required, and inside you get a piece of gear that enhances hacking altogether. The best example I've got is maybe now you can hack from a distance or something. Adding a new level of skill and flexibility to it. How do you feel about that idea? And do you have any other ideas after having some time of separation from Prey?
Okay, so your ideas sound, but it's something that I think a lot of game developers and people who like to think about games go through. And it's for this reason that I'm hesitant to say that reward systems are... again, why did it just go straight into the left there? That was weird. Maybe my finger slipped on A and I didn't realize. It's why they're one of the more complicated things to get right in a game, because those rewards don't exist in a vacuum, and you have to look at the gameplay side of things, and as well as the reward, because the reward is always going to affect gameplay, and there's going to be some ramifications for it. So an example is that if you are playing a game that has a combat system like Doom's, and you go to some sort of equivalent, you go through some sort of equivalent of this derelict shuttle in Prey. For those that don't know, the derelict shuttle in Prey is it's outside the space station that you're in Prey, and it's quite out of the way, and there's a hard battle that you fight there. You first have to notice it. You have to fly all the way there. It's quite a journey. Then there's a fairly difficult battle there, and then you get inside the shuttle, and you're expecting that there's going to be something really good there, and it's just some minor things, and it's a bit of a disappointment, especially considering it needs a very high hacking ability that you probably won't have when you first get there, and then you're going to have to come back later and go all the way through that all over again to get quite a disappointing reward. And in the video, I go on about how should something really good have been here, but if you make it too good, then it becomes sort of mandatory. You have to come here to get it, and if it's not good enough, then it's not worth it. So if we translate that to something like Doom, and because I think Doom will show this problem way more than hacking and Prey. So let's just say there's an equivalent of the derelict shuttle in Doom about halfway through the game, and if you finish it, you get the equivalent of what Maxine is saying here, which is that you get a really powerful ability that affects the type of gameplay that you went through to acquire it. So you get a really, really, really powerful gun. Well, the problem with that is initially that's a great reward. It fits. You're getting rewarded in the same way that you were tested. But now gameplay is fundamentally changed because you have this really powerful weapon that might trivialize a lot of the encounters that you were probably enjoying up until now, because that's why you push yourself to do the optional challenge, right? So by giving you this really, really powerful reward, you have ruined the game. So it can't be too powerful. So now you have to look at the rewards and think, okay, well, it should be something that's fun and interesting, but not really powerful and game destroying. But then that seems like a really easy solution, but then you have to think, okay, well, if there's something like that exists that is fun and interesting and worthwhile to go out over here, then shouldn't that already be in the game, right? If you hide one of the coolest weapons that is well balanced, that fits your arsenal really, really well, and complements a lot of the game systems in your game, and you give that as a reward, as an optional side thing that a lot of people are going to miss, surely that's making your game a much lesser experience than if you had just made it part of the game from the get-go. So that means that it can't be there, and you're back to the same problem again. See what I mean? It's not really that simple, right? You want it to be something that's interesting and fun and worthwhile, but at the same time it can't be too good and it can't be too interesting, because otherwise it should just be part of the main game. So then you just kind of go round and round and round and round, not really knowing where to go with it. So I think that the solution is that you have to have the flexibility to have a game that has so many different options and so many different paths that you can explore, systems that you can be brave enough to hide really fun things like that and really good things like that in the game, and not feel like players are missing out a lot if they don't find them, which I don't even know if you could point to a modern game that's done something like that in recent years at all. I think the best kind of reward for me when it comes to things like that is that how Celeste does it, which is the gameplay is the main draw, and once you get through an optional thing like that, you're rewarded with more of the gameplay that you've been enjoying up until that moment. Oh no. Can we turn around? Let's see. yeah, you're rewarded with more of the gameplay up until that moment. But your idea for Prey isn't bad, because I think that's actually the example you gave isn't too game breaking, and it's fun, but it's not essential. So even though I just went on that big rant there, I think your example of a long distance hacking sort of tool that makes things a bit more fun, but not too broken, I think that's actually a pretty good example for that area. But at the same time, you have to look at it and think, okay, well, if there's something that kind of, if your hacking system is sort of boring, is a system that destroys the need to do some of it really that good? And if that's the case, shouldn't the question be that you should be redesigning your hacking system instead of putting something in there that makes people be able to bypass it? But then that gets into an even larger question, which is inconveniencing a player and making them go through some tedium an actual worthwhile thing to do? And the more I look at games and the more I play games, the more I'm starting to think that the answer to that question is yes. That there is value in tedium, and there is value in making the player do something that they're not really enjoying and they're not really having fun, just not in every game. I don't think in something like Celeste or Odyssey or Breath of the Wild or anything like that, a very sharply gameplay focused game, I don't think it's worth it there. But for something that's going for more of an experience, something that's going for a story, I think there's definitely some merit in things like that. I'm on the wrong side of the road now because I'm in Europe, because I'm in the UK. I should have known that. Did they really drive on the right side of the road in most of Europe? Did they really? I didn't know that. But then when I went to Europe, I never was in a car, I think, or I don't remember it. We just stayed in hotels. But yeah, we're in the UK now, so we have to be on the side of the road. I think that a good way of doing something in Prey would have been incremental increases to speed, carry weight, jump height, fuel for your jetpack, wrench damage, that sort of thing, that are completely separate from everything else. Things that do not give you a choice. I think choices are good, and I think there should be choices in almost every game, especially when you're exploring and picking up loot. But I also think there should be lots of cool stuff that you just get, and you never have to sit there and go, oh, should I trade this out for a different enhancement slot, and oh, is this worth spending the points on, and oh, should I save this for later? No, I think in addition to that sort of system that you have to make choices and weigh options, I think there should be just you get to this area, you see an upgrade, you go over, you pick it up, and just boom, you get an increase. I think that it's fun, it's quick, you're always happy, because even if it's something that you don't really use that much, it's not costing you anything, and they can be little incremental boosts that so even if you miss them, they can be placed everywhere, and you could still have a lot of fun with them, and the game doesn't have to worry about balance issues, because you could put like 20 of them all over the place, and that's 20% more damage to your wrench attack. Well, 20% isn't really that much, but it still feels good to get them, right? So that's what I think is a good sort of middle ground if you don't want to put in so much work with building entire different game mechanics that some people might miss that complement your game system. But I'm curious, and this will be what I end on, because I'm waffling on a little bit too much and being waffles dad upon. I'm really curious if there has been a modern game that has put in that effort and has had these hidden secret areas with mechanics that really do switch up a lot of things. Oh, we got the speeding. Oh no. I'm curious if that exists, because I think it would be pretty difficult. Oh, we found Dover. What's the speed limit? 48? Is that it down there? Okay, so when we're above the speed limit, our kilometers an hour thing at the top goes red. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Hope that was a good answer. I was having fun.
After listening to a radio show my friend recommended to me a few days ago called Limetown, I had a weird question that I've had yet to really answer. For those who don't know, it's a mystery about this mysterious research town that's just disappeared one day. The clues and information the show gives...
Wait, what? Okay.
The clues and information the show gives was so captivating for me, I hypothesized for like 10 minutes before going to the next episode, and when the show ended, it wasn't what I thought. And when I read that back, I say, well, that's a cool thing, though, because it tricked me and still had the evidence from other episodes to back up the ending. But I was still disappointed because to me, my ending was better. My ending was tailored to my interests and quirks and feelings. And don't get me wrong, the ending fit and was good, but it wasn't the ending I convinced myself was interesting and exciting. It got me wondering that if you leave such a bizarre mystery with up to interpretation clues, that whatever the real answer, the reader or viewer will always do to some degree be disappointed after their story ended up not happening. Do you think this is an actual problem? And if you do think it's a problem, how could you work around it? Or is it just something that is bound to happen to some of the audience?
Yeah.
Well, that's all my questions for this month. Hope the move goes well and both you guys are doing rad. Excited for the God of War video and good luck on everything, Maxine.
Thanks. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. I spoke about that a little bit in the Witness video. People get really, really invested in stories and their versions of them. I'm really interested in what you're talking about, though. Are you here in chat right now? If you're not, if you are, can you link the podcast or the radio show, whatever it was, or can you link some information? There's some people in chat asking too. Can you provide a link if you're not here? And
they're here. Feelings Communist.
Yeah. Okay, Limetown. Okay, cool. I don't know if you're allowed to give links. Okay, I'm the worst at backing up.
Danny's got it too.
I'm really, really bad. Okay. Can someone message me on Discord with that, please? Because I'm gonna forget and I can't. I'm afraid to alt tab out right now. Okay, so so people get really invested in their stories that they make for themselves. I think that it even has a term, right? It's called headcanon. Or I think they call it. I think someone in chat said even fanon. You know, it's. I think most people know what canon means. People get really invested in it, and it's something that you have to keep in mind when it comes to writing stories as well as enjoying stories. And I used to be this sort of person that would always constantly this is some bad repetition there, that would constantly be watching a movie and driving Lily crazy, because I would just constantly be guessing. I keep saying constantly what would happen next, and be like, oh, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, and most of the time I'd be right, and I'd be trying to deconstruct the story as I was watching it, and I don't think it's a good way of appreciating content. It's not a good way of it's not healthy either, and you end up not really enjoying stories as much as you should, and I've tried really, really hard lately to not do that anymore, but it still comes through when I'm streaming a bit. You know, when it like Persona 5, I kept guessing things and everything, and sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. But then it comes into danger of you getting so invested into it, especially when it comes to TV shows that go on and on and on, that you start to connect these different dots, and you start to think that your way is not only what's going to happen, but it's better, and that you're disappointed when it doesn't happen. You might be angry as well. and you can't really appreciate what the thing actually did. But that's not to say that you're always wrong. I'm gonna hate saying this. I'm gonna regret saying this. So I finally watched The Last Jedi, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible, and I'm upset that a lot of the discussion about The Last Jedi has been wrapped up in this tired old political debate, because I don't think there's anything to do with politics, and none of the anything that might be seen as political in the movie or anything like that has anything to do with why the movie's bad. The movie's bad because it's a bad fucking movie. It's a really, 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 really bad movie. The only good things about it were the visuals, and even then there were some shortcomings there. There was some really awful moments in a fight scene that I don't want to spoil that made me go what? And really, really, really not a good movie. And I think a lot of people are wrapped up in this better version that they had imagined and were anticipating. And I think that's a good example of the audience probably being right for the most part. And I don't know. I don't know how you could watch that movie and think that it's a good story on any level. It's not a good story on its own. It's not a good story in the series. It's not a good story in any way. It doesn't have good structure. It doesn't have good characters. It doesn't have good dialogue, really. Oh man, it's such a bad movie. I don't know why I'm going on about it. It's really not a good movie at all. But sometimes people are wrong, and they will get into they will get so invested in sorry, where am I going? Am I going around? This looks like the way out. I can't get out. I'm stuck. Okay, can we just bust through? It looks like we can go around up here. Do we go that way? What is it made of?
I thought it was good and I hate everything.
Is that what someone said?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're I don't think you're wrong for liking it, because maybe you liked it because for other reasons other than what I'm saying. Maybe you like the visuals or the fight scenes, or maybe you just like to sit back with some popcorn and enjoy, you know, just some dumb action movie, you know. On that level it's okay. Like I said, the visuals and the fight scenes had some merit to them. But yeah, it just oh man, it was. And I'm not even the type of person that's really invested in Star Wars. I've only ever seen the original trilogy once. I've only seen the prequels once each. I'm sure at some point I've been at someone's house and it's been on in the background. But yeah, I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I'm just looking at it as someone who, you know, likes pop culture a bit, and I know those are big events and I should see them, and it's like, okay, it's somewhat interesting. But yeah, like I thought The Force Awakens was okay. It was just okay. And I was expecting The Last Jedi to be just okay as well, and it wasn't. It was really, 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 really bad. There was a certain point in the movie that I don't want to say because I don't want to spoil it, that I actually just completely threw my arms up in the air and said, okay, this whole entire series is dead. That's it. It's done. I was live tweeting my watching the movie to my friend on Steam, because it was on Netflix. That's when I got to see it. I watched it over 3 nights because that's how we
roll over here now.
Yeah, that's the only little time I had. You know, I was trying to wind down before I went to sleep, and that wasn't a good idea. You know, because I'm watching that. Yeah, but it was toward, if without spoilers, it was toward the end of the movie when a certain purple-haired character does something with a starship that I threw my arms up in the air and typed very angrily and very snootily to my friend, I'm done with this entire series. It's dead. And then at that point, I was just like, I don't give a shit what happens anymore. I almost turned the movie off and didn't even finish it. But at that point, I was committed. I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, to get back to your question in terms of video games, you can see this in Dark Souls. You can see it in The Witness. You can see it in any story that has a lot of ambiguity. What's interesting, though, in your question specifically, though, which makes me not be able to go on my usual rant, which is that people will transplant their own ideas and they'll go through their own story writing process, and they will make their own art when they're watching a movie or reading a book or playing a game that has a lot of ambiguity. Is that your example actually had an answer that came out that was disappointing. And I think you'll see this a lot with alternate reality games. If you don't know what they are, I think one of the most popular ones was I Love Bees for Halo. Which is these alternate reality. Can I turn the windshield wipers on? Sorry, does anyone know how to turn the windshield wipers on? P. All right, thank you. All right, thank you for that. Yeah, I Love Bees was an alternate reality game. Portal 2 had one for its release too, as well, I believe. And these are usually they're cool in concept, but they're usually disappointing. There are clues that are on websites, phone numbers. There might even be a real world location you have to go to find something. You know, there's coordinates, GPS coordinates that you have to track down through scrambled images, and it's usually a community effort of a lot of people like solving like math problems and stuff that have been put out there with clues and breadcrumbs leading to each one. My guess is there's probably planted people in the communities that grow for these things that will nudge others along if they get stuck or something. You know, they're you know playing dumb, but they're really a part of the experience. And people build these up to be these huge epic things, and oh my god, what's going to happen in the end? And they're almost usually disappointing. But the key point of that is that they have answers, and a lot of these games that are ambiguous, Dark Souls, The Witness, Inside, Little Nightmares. There's so many of them in video games because writing is so difficult, and it's even more difficult in video games. So a good answer to that is just not to bother. Is that they don't have answers at all, because there are no answers, in my opinion. You can disagree with me. I know that's something that a lot of people disagree with me on, but I won't harp on about it too much here. But you have an answer, and I think it's more interesting when there's an answer that you're disappointed in, because it kind of proves me wrong, doesn't it? It kind of proves me wrong, and it makes it seem like there's worth and there's merit to these kind of stories that let people figure things out for themselves and come to their own conclusions. And I do see the appeal to it, definitely. I just got to the point now, maybe it's because I'm a writer myself, that I prefer to be told a story rather than have to do the work. But yeah, when you're writing a story, you definitely have to do that. I don't know if a lot of people follow stuff that writers say, but it was interesting to me that there have been writers for, I think, comic books, definitely TV shows, that said that they've had to follow discussion forums now, and if someone guesses the story, Lily will find this interesting. If someone guesses the plot and ending of the story, that they sometimes have to change it.
Sucks for them.
Yeah, that really sucks for them. And they have to think of something new, because they might be liable or something. Like someone might come after them, and that you stole this idea from the community, which I think is complete bullshit. I don't think it would actually fly, but maybe it's just not worth the risk. And also, I think if it becomes popular enough, they think that, oh well, we have to have something new. We have to twist it on that, right? We can't. We have to. There has to be an element of surprise. And that can ruin a story, I think. It's definitely something you have to keep in mind, but I also think that it's something that maybe you have to keep in mind as a consumer or an audience member, that maybe you should trust the storyteller and not try to speculate too much. I think Kurt Vonnegut said that he believed that you should try to give the reader as much information as possible as early as possible, so that if for whatever reason their book got cut in half, that they would still be able to finish the story themselves. Ironically, all the stories I've read of his are not like that at all, and you can't do that. But maybe I'm not understanding his quote that much. But it seems like modern storytelling that we're in right now, postmodernism or whatever the fuck it counts as now, seems to be the complete antithesis of that. And we're all about stories that will not tell you anything and try and keep you in the dark and confused and enthralled for as long as possible, until the very, very end, where it's supposed to be this big explosive, like, oh my god, this came out of nowhere, and yeah, you didn't see this, and here's the last piece of the puzzle that you didn't get, and here it goes in. And I've written stories like that, so I'm guilty of that too. But
I try not to do that.
You try not to do that?
I try not to, because I'm worried of people accusing me then of making it up as I go along and just pulling something out, out of, at the last minute, Whereas I prefer to have all the pieces there and then make them forget about them, so then bring them back later, kind of thing. I think that works.
Oh, well, they can do that too.
It's, you know what I mean? Instead of, especially with murder mysteries, right? If all the clues are there at the beginning, but you zoom in on one, or you zoom in on a certain person, and then it turns out that the other person there was there all along, but that you weren't really looking at them.
Yeah. But
instead of just not saying anything and it coming out later, kind of thing.
Well, there are different ways to do it. There's good ways to do it, and there are bad ways to do it, because some people do just make it up as they go along. I know, I don't know for a fact, but I want to, because hyperbole is my friend. That Lost, they just made that up as they went along. I feel it in my bones that they make Dark Souls up as they go along. Like there's no plan, there's no design document.
But then you can never work it out on your own, So that's part of the fun, isn't it?
But you could. It's just that
if they were making it up as you go along, you can't keep up with that.
It's just that you're making it up as you go along too, and it just seems just as valid as what they're saying, because there is no right answer. You know what I mean? I think it was Dennis Lehane. I think he said he was on a plane, and he was sat next to somebody, and the guy recognized him and said, "Oh, fuck, Dennis Lehane, I really like your books." And he said, and he whipped out his copy of Shutter Island, because he had it on him for some reason, for the point of the story, and said, "I just read this book and I figured it out from the start." And I won't say it on stream because I don't want to ruin it, but he's like, "I figured it out from the start. I knew right away what it was. I knew right away what was going on in this book." And Lehane was like, "Well, I'm glad you did, because I played it fair. I mean, like I didn't cheat. I didn't blindside anybody. I didn't put any red herrings or false bits of information. Like I played it straight. So yeah, it's good that you figured it out. But wouldn't you have enjoyed it more if you hadn't?" Yeah, but I think that a lot of stories they just make it up as they go along, and they plant false information that never comes back. We'll be seeing it on stream soon when we play Heavy Fucking Rain. There's a scene. Maybe I should say this, because Heavy Rain has kind of lost itself now. Or you know what? No, there's probably someone in chat. Maybe even there's a few people watching this on YouTube later as well that haven't played Heavy Rain, and they'll enjoy me getting mad live when I go through it again in Heavy Fucking Rain. But if you've played Heavy Rain, you know what I'm talking about. Just the completely unexplained bullshit in the opening of that game, really, really early on. Fucking Heavy Rain, man. What was the question again? No. So yeah, I think that's something that all entertainment, all video games, movies, books, it's a two-way street. There's a relationship, and there's an obligation on the reader's part, as well as the storytellers. And if you are potentially going out of your way to think of a better story than what you're being provided, then maybe that's a sign that maybe you should be a storyteller. But at the same time, I do sympathize heavily with what you're saying, because sometimes the story that you think of yourself is better, and you wish that they had put more effort into it. There have been a lot of times, especially in games, where there's been a lot of details and a lot of ingredients, let's say, and you're getting through the whole thing, and then by the end you're like, "Oh, where's this building? What's gonna happen?" And then there's just this big, huge avalanche of disappointment when it just doesn't come together, or it was just a bunch of bullshit details to throw you off, and you're like, "Oh, that's it," Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is like that at the end. It's like, "Oh, that's it," Persona 5 was a little bit like that as well. And it's usually in games, it's the smaller, more personal, individual stories of characters and environmental storytelling, and maybe logs that you find on the small scale within larger worlds that end up being more satisfying and more entertaining. I think that maybe a lot of games should try and focus on that instead of trying to have this big overarching story in the world. Books tend to be a little better, but there are a lot of bad books out there. You can find mine on Amazon. And for movies, I don't watch that many movies anymore, but it's it can definitely be disappointing. Is it really the game's fault if you're the one building up this idea in your own head? Yes and no. It depends on if they're playing fair. That is a good point, and I think that's something that I wanted to bring up, but I forgot. Yeah, it's your fault and the game's fault. You're both kind of culpable, because if the game is providing you with a lot of teases, and you find yourself really engrossed and thinking about a lot of things, and that's a sign that the game is doing, that the story is working, and it's captivating you, and that there's something being done well on the story's part. And so it's the story's fault for not capitalizing on that and not making good on that potential. But at the same time, you're right. What if the story that you make up is complete bullshit, and if someone else heard your version of the story, they might look at it and go, yeah, but what about this, what about that, what about this problem, that problem? Maybe your version is unrealistic and it wouldn't really work well. But at the same time, stories should try and capitalize on their potential, I think. Anyway, let's take one or two questions from chat, because we haven't done that in a while, and I need to drink a little bit of water.
And I need to thank a few people. Thank you to Detest Please, who resubscribed for 9 months and says, hello again, Daddy.
Hello again, what?
Daddy.
Oh, no.
Thank you to Lemaniac.
I need to take a bathroom break.
Subscribed for 9 months. Thank you, Lemaniac. And thank you to Atomic Banana War.
That's a good name.
Who subscribed with Prime.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Atomic Banana War. Thank you. Someone in chat is asking, have I played Life is Strange? No, I haven't. If I play Life is Strange, I'll stream it, because I don't really have that much interest in playing that game on my own. So I think that's a stream game.
Someone's asked a few times if you've ever played Gun.
No, I haven't. Sorry. How do you feel about the plot of Metal Gear Rising? I didn't really pay attention to it that much, so I don't know how I feel about the plot. I was mostly into the gameplay, and that was a long stream, so I couldn't really concentrate on all that much. And the gameplay was quite demanding. And I was trying to interact with chat at the same time. So I don't know. It seemed kind of wacky and off the wall, even more so than standard for Metal Gear. And I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of that. But it wasn't bad. It suited the theme and the over the top action sort of thing, right? So yeah, it definitely has some positives. But I don't want to talk about it too much because I didn't really pay that much attention to it. Someone left a YouTube comment that was really angry with me about that. Like, you should have paid more attention to it. And it's like, well, I'm balancing a stream while playing this game for the first time, and there's lots going on, and I have to balance trying to be entertaining at the same time, and I'm not playing this for a video, so I have to be a streamer as well as a player, and that takes something out of you, you know. So I think that I shouldn't be qualified to talk about that, even though I have played it.
You gonna play Yakuza?
Only if Spider-Man is bad. I said on Discord a couple months ago that I'm so sure that the new Spider-Man game for PlayStation 4 is going to be bad. I'm sure it'll review fairly well because it has some hype around it, but you know, reviews don't really mean all that much if a game ends up being good or bad. I think the game's going to be bad, and I said if it ends up being really, really, really good, I'll play... is it Yakuza or Yakuza? I can never know. I'll play Yakuza 0 on stream. I'll stream it. I don't know if I'll stream it right away, but yeah, that might be how I end up playing it. I should probably play it anyway. Everyone wants me to, but I don't know when it's going to happen.
Thank you to Hyros, who resubscribed for 9 months with Prime.
Thank you very much, Hyros.
Thank you to Quentin, who used 500 bits and also subscribed with Prime.
Oh, thank you.
And says, I wanted to ask you how you value your experience in your first playthrough when judging the game. For example, when I watched your Breath of the Wild video, I agreed that the shrines were pretty bad, but I didn't really care or notice about how bad they were until I played on Master Mode, which sort of bumps the game's score up for me. Maybe this thinking is kind of flawed, but what do you think about experiences like this?
The first time... Hold on, let me read the question. Oh, I can pause it, can I? Let me read the question myself. Okay, so how do I value the experience of the first playthrough? And your example is that you didn't really notice how bad something was until the playthrough after your first playthrough. First playthrough is the most important for me, and I know some people might get angry about that because sometimes I stream my first playthroughs. I got a really, really angry email one time saying that how dare you stream Nier Automata, and do you really think that you would have enjoyed the What Remains of Edith Finch if you had been sitting there with your wife talking about how you want to buy a sexy maid suit for her? Like, it's really, really long email, and seriously, it went on for like a couple thousand words, I think. And I appreciate the passion for the game, and that he wants me to have an untarnished first playthrough. But the thing is that those conversations usually happen when there's a lull and we're doing some boring side content that, there's a reason why I'm having those conversations. It's because the game isn't engaging me a lot at that moment. And also, I said it before on stream, just when I'm not streaming doesn't mean, I'm locked in an isolation tank with, 5 feet of steel in every single direction with my headphones on and another pair of bigger headphones over that, with like sunglasses with fucking cardboard cutouts on the side, so all I can see is the screen. Like these conversations I have with Lily and the kids, they still happen even when I'm not streaming. Almost all of Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, and even What Remains of Edith Finch, I either had a kid on my lap or Lily was talking to me at the same time, because that's just how my life is.
I watch you play most of the games.
Yeah,
I sit there and watch, and we talk. It's we do it in silence.
Yeah, it's how it is. It might be a little different now that I have some separate space, but that's how it was. And apparently my work was good up until that moment. So I think it still qualifies. But anyway, the first experience is the most important. I will say, even having gone on that little mini rant there is something to be said that maybe there are some games that I shouldn't stream my first playthrough on, especially if they are completely story heavy. But sometimes I haven't decided I'm gonna do a video on a game until after I've played it, and I think I get most of the experience quite well, even on a stream. The scary version is that there might be games that I've enjoyed more because I'm streaming them, because I have chat to keep me kind of engaged and I can talk aloud as I'm going through it. I think that's the scarier conversation. Not that I don't enjoy it enough on my first time through, is that streaming makes me enjoy it more. I think definitely Persona 5 and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 were vastly enhanced by streaming it and the interaction, and like we have people drawing pictures of things that are going on as I'm playing it. Like I would be an idiot if I said that wasn't influencing how much I'm enjoying my time with the game at that moment, and that I'm gonna have to do some work to try to separate that reaction right inside of me from how I feel about the game on its own. And I think I do that fairly well, but still that's I think that's the scarier version. High Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So I think the first playthrough is definitely the most important. It's strange to me that I haven't played Master Mode, so I wonder why. Why was it that Master Mode made you really realize that the shrines were a bit subpar? But I'm a firm believer that you should go into games knowing as little about them as possible. Ideally, if you see a trailer for a game and the trailer catches your interest and it's a little teaser trailer, that you should you should, and it has your interest, you should not watch any other trailers after that. You're potentially ruining things for yourself, and you should try and figure out as much of it on your own as you possibly can, because that's what the games are supposed to, most games are built for. You say in chat, it was just my second playthrough. Yeah, I think Breath of the Wild and Odyssey as well are two games that are much better your first time through, and the cracks will show a lot more on your second time, especially Breath of the Wild. I tried to play Breath of the Wild again because all I had while we were doing this move was the Switch. While I was going back and forth, and I was playing a little bit of Switch games. I got Hollow Knight. I played that a little bit on the Switch. Didn't really get into it that much on the Switch, actually. I don't know why. And yeah, I tried Breath of the Wild, and it's just knowing that there's all those shrines ahead of me and how boring they are and how lackluster they are was just, oh no, man. Like, just it really brings me down. And I think going into a shrine and you don't know that it's going to be bad, and you can always like pretend that, oh, you know what, maybe I just hit all the bad ones in a row, and maybe the next ones will be good, and then they're not. And yeah, I think that's a big thing. I think a lot of people ruin the first experience for themselves by spoiling too much, either by reading stuff online, watching too many trailers, or they're so hungry to play it, and people have got early copies and they're on discussion forums. Tell me the details. What was the first area like, and what you do next time? And all these other things. And I think that I think that can ruin a game for you. Yeah, I keep leaning too far into the keyboard and hitting down A. Would you be quicker to play through Wind Waker again rather than Breath of the Wild? Wind Waker has a really slow start. I would probably pick Wind Waker just because I barely remember it, but I've tried to play Wind Waker again over the years, and I remember the opening, and I just get so bored. As soon as you get to that stealth section at the beginning, I do that thing where you just puff out your cheeks and just go, and I don't want to do it. It's just fuck, man, and I just get so tired. A lot of the Zeldas are like that. Breath of the Wild's kind of like that now too. They hit it really well, but you have that whole Great Plateau to get through. That can be a bit tiring. Yeah. Anyway, let's go. Let's go with the next Patreon question. Oh, sorry. Someone said, "What's my favorite Zelda game?" Probably Majora's Mask, but that has the same problem. But still, Majora's Mask is just so unique that I have to go with it. But yeah, it definitely has the same problem. Maybe with time, maybe Breath of the Wild will be my favorite. I don't know. But right now, I would rank it Majora's Mask, then Link to the Past, then Breath of the Wild. So Breath of the Wild is number 3. Go ahead, Lily.
Paladin says, "Hello, Lily and Joe."
Hi.
At Lily.
Ooh, it's a Lily question.
Having followed the main YouTube channel and only recently Q&As, I've missed a good chunk of the development of the Joseph Anderson brand. So despite some circumstantial clues from past sessions and a couple glances at the Discord server, I'm not exactly sure of the extent of your involvement. If one asked me, I'd make the tentative hypothesis that you're slowly becoming the de facto community manager. How wrong am I? I wouldn't say I'm a manager. I would say I'm more of an assistant. I don't see myself really managing anything. We talk about things. He talks about what project is next, and bounces ideas off me and stuff. And I'm there when he plays some of the games and stuff. So I see that part of it, but I don't think I really contribute to that part of it much. I read the script with him. I help with the streams when I can. I help with the Q&As, and I'm on Discord mainly as he's busy. I'm here. Does anyone want to talk? Do people ask me questions? People send me private messages asking, what's next? Can you get a message to him? That kind of stuff. But I don't really manage anything. I just kind of help out where I can. Just like he helps out with the kids, I help out with that end of the work because I don't go to work anymore. So I pick up where I can.
Is Lily the hot secretary? It's my waifu you're talking about.
Is her wife or waifu?
Waifu. I'm a weeb now, so it's a waifu.
Yeah, I don't think I really manage. it's hard to say where it will go from here. You know, as things get bigger and there's more projects and like who knows, right? Like a year ago we didn't think we'd be here, right? So it's hard to say where we'll be in a year, but I still don't think I'll be in that much of a authoritative role a year from now. At Joe, one of the reasons you're a good games critic is that you're able to take some distance from your own opinion to separate I like, dislike this from this is good, bad. That said, is there any kind of feature in games that you personally enjoy or hate so much that you wouldn't completely trust yourself to give a fair critique of a game featuring it?
I'm so bad at driving. Oh no. Oh man. I'm so bad at this. Sorry, I just want to put my 2 cents into the question before that. I think you're kind of becoming the de facto community manager. Yeah, I think that's happening.
I don't see myself managing though. I just see myself.
I think it's a good thing.
Helping, you know, and being available. But I'm fine to take on more responsibility too if it comes to that. So who knows? I did help write the Patreon post.
That's true. And people seem to like it. Oh, progression?
Someone says I'm an executive producer.
Progression?
I'm glad you guys like the Patreon post.
No.
We wrote it separately, but it went well together, I thought. And I was writing it all by myself in a scary house while he was in Toronto, so jumping at every sound. Creative consultant.
Creative consultant.
Okay, you want to answer your question?
Can you say it again? Oh, I didn't do it. God damn it. Okay, we were close. I think we're getting better.
One of the reasons you're a good games critic is that you're able to take some distance from your own opinion to separate I like, dislike this from this is good, bad. That said, is there any kind of feature in games that you personally enjoy or hate so much that you wouldn't completely trust yourself to give a fair critique of a game featuring it?
Thank you for saying that, because I do try to distance myself from my own tastes and judge something for the goals it's trying to do. I think that some people don't see that sometimes because I am quite critical, especially when I get into the mode where I talk about how, you know, I think that this could be done better. Here's some suggestions. A lot of people think that my suggestions are me trying to be a game designer. And although I would love to design a game one day, I know full well that whatever the game that I design first is probably going to be so bad that it shouldn't even be released, that it's just going to be a learning process. I am not a game designer whatsoever. But the why I go into suggestions is because the way I was taught, and it was mostly self-taught through judging reactions from people, was that my basis of criticism, we can't even get out of the truck, the parking lot, is from reading other people's writing, and learning a lot from reading other people's writing, you know, giving critiques of people's work on discussion forums and stuff was just as much for me as it was for them. And a good way of doing that was always to give examples of what you're saying, and also to be constructive and provide examples of what could be done better in a way that makes sense and isn't just, you know, this is shit, good luck fixing it. You know what I mean? So that's where that comes from. We're just so bad at this. and by we I mean me. So yeah, sometimes the examples are there to say, look, I think there's a line in the Breath of the Wild video, you know, like I can think of solutions, and I'm just me with my YouTube channel, not a legendary developer at Nintendo. They should have realized this and done a better job. My suggestions may not be the best, but they're something, and they're still better, in my opinion, than what was happening. Most people who disagreed with them didn't even give any answers. They just said, you know, you suck and your suggestions are bad, and they don't say why. You know, I think that having a tailored list and of shrines that can scale in complexity, and then they're scrambled within their own kind of tiers is a really good idea. Okay, we broke the red light, so let's in for a penny and for a pound. Let's just keep going. It's a really good idea, and there's no real downside there because you keep the variety, you keep the variance between playthroughs and between people who are playing the game, and also you get to build on complexity, and you're not stuck with these really boring shrines at the end and concepts that can't go anywhere. It's like there's nothing really wrong with that idea. I think I even had someone who is a game developer who emailed me afterwards and said that would have been really easy for them to do. It's not a hard thing to do at all. But yeah, I'm getting off track there with that. It's difficult to keep yourself distanced from a lot of things because once you get into suggestions like that, it can sound like you're not judging the game as it is, and instead for what you want it to be, and that kind of harkens back to the question that we just had about stories. Someone left a comment on the Minute review and said, you know, you didn't judge this game properly because you are comparing it to what you wanted it to be and what you thought it would be when you read the description instead of what it actually is. And there's some merit to that comment, but at the same time, I think that my viewpoint was valid because that's what I really expected it to be, and that's what I think the game sort of advertised itself as, and that's what the mechanics seem to be lending itself to. Whereas I think a comparison would be if you see a game that's trying to advertise itself as a really intense platformer like Meat Boy or Celeste, and then you get it and it turns out that it's mostly an RPG with a really engrossing story, and you're going to be spending a bunch of time in menus and shit. I think that, you know, it's valid for you to say, hey, I was expecting something really different, and it wasn't there, and I'm upset, and I think you have a right to be upset. Whereas the same argument can be made against you. You're judging it for what you want it to be instead of what it is. I don't know. I also think that in those videos, because I've done it in other videos, not just Minute. Okay, that time I didn't have my finger on A, and it went to the left. That was weird. It pulled to the left there as I was turning. I think I usually say in the videos, because I did in Minute as well. Okay, well, if we take away all this stuff about about what I would prefer it to be, how is it if we just judge it for what it is and just pretend that those expectations weren't there? And I think I do a pretty good job doing that, and I include it in almost every video that I go off on those kind of tangents and comparisons, and we're going to hit every single one of these. I don't think I would ever do a racing game. To answer the other part of your question, I don't think I'd ever do a racing game. As you can see, I can't drive. Never do a racing game. They just don't interest me. The only racing games that I've ever really enjoyed have been Mario Kart, Destruction Derby. Is it Destruction Derby or Destruction Derby? It's Destruction Derby, right? It's a derby. And Burnout. Those are the only 3 racing games I've ever enjoyed. I tried to play Gran Turismo, and I hated it. It's boring. I don't like it. I tried to play, I think, a Forza game at some point, Ridge Racer. I don't like them. There needs to be something more. It needs to be a bit more arcadey for what I for me to enjoy it. So the power ups and the wacky kind of weird things in Mario Kart, but even then it has to be done well. Diddy Kong Racing was nowhere near as good as Mario Kart 64 IMO. Maybe there could be a good game based on the Wacky Races show. That was always kind of fun. Maybe there was one, I just didn't play it. Yeah, but Mario Kart was it for me. That's probably my favorite racing game. Burnout has like you go really, 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 really fast, and you have all the turbo and nitro boosts and shit. And there's just such an awesome sense of speed in that game that's really, really great. Gran Turismo appealed to me more about the progression of getting a car, getting money, winning races, getting a better car, improving on it. That part was interesting to me. So yeah, maybe that's a sort of an answer to Ralph Clogs' question earlier, that that's not the biggest part of that game, but yet that's what I wanted out of it. Yeah, I think that's definitely a genre that I'll avoid. I'm starting to think that maybe I just shouldn't properly review horror games, and I can go and make a video on a horror game, and I can talk about the story, and I can talk about the gameplay, but when it comes to the scares, I mean, I don't think I'm hard-boiled. I hate jump scares. Jump scares usually work on me and I get startled, especially in movies. I don't enjoy being startled. I like being creeped out, but I don't like being startled. But for some reason, I don't know, like every horror game that I've ever played, I've just kind of went, that guy at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 when Sora is really giving the heart to heart, and he just goes huh, and that's kind of my reaction to a lot of scary things in games. Resident Evil 7 on stream, as most people saw, and then Soma as well, and Amnesia. My reaction to most scares is just to go huh, okay, whatever. I was laughing at most of Resident Evil 7. I thought the game was really, really funny. So maybe I'm not qualified to do that, because for whatever reason they just don't get to me. I don't think that I would do a good job, and I don't think I could remain properly objective with a lot of simulation games that are really, really tightly tuned on the simulation part. There needs to be a game. There needs to be goals for me. I tried to play Planet Coaster recently, and I fucking hated it, even though I feel like that's a game that I should really enjoy. Theme Park was better. It was more fun for me when I was a kid, but maybe if I went back I wouldn't like that anymore. Theme Hospitals is something I enjoy more, whereas Planet Coaster is just like you just build a theme park, and I think you need a level of investment and imagination and a love for those kind of things going in that I just do not enjoy. I think that's why I didn't take to some of the later Dungeon Keeper games and their clones, because there isn't that big of a mix of goals with fun things and freedom than there is in the first game. That's why the first one's my favorite, I think. And there's probably other genres as well, but the one I'll end on is fighting games. And I will never do a video on a fighting game unless I have played the same fighting game for like 3 fucking years, because you need to be really good at multiplayer games in order to judge them. And fighting games are all multiplayer. That's what they're all about. And if you're like, no one plays a fighting game to fight fucking bots, and that's what it's all about. And they appeal to me. There's like I'm interested in learning one eventually, but I am not there at all, and I don't have the time. So that is not so much about being objective. That's about qualifications. I'm not qualified to judge a fighting game, so I won't do it. I think that's it. So racing games, maybe some horror games, and fighting games. Probably sport games as well. So, like FIFA doesn't interest me whatsoever. Not even a little bit. Was that a good answer? Yeah? Okay.
At both. In the last Q&A, you've dedicated 25 minutes to my questions. The short-term self-centered part of me was very satisfied with that. The other part still feels a bit exploitative.
We exploited you, or you exploited us? Oh, they're not. Okay.
Yeah, if you actually do the maths, anyone pledging the lowest Patreon tier that grants a Q&A entry ticket isn't as much funding Joseph's videos as hiring the both of you to answer their questions at an abysmal hourly wage. What are your thoughts on that? And with the audience growing, do you plan on tuning the rules of future Q&As? By the way, Lily, last time you asked how to properly pronounce the name of my cat, Navi or Navy, still not sure. Take a bowl, fill it with dry food, and shake it gently. That's the correct pronunciation.
I like that. That's good.
Cheers, Paladin.
Okay. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? Because it was at both of us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, like, I like doing the Q&As. I'm amused by the questions. I'm amused that people want to know the answers to some of the questions, because some of the questions are, like, I can understand questions related to the videos and streaming and stuff that is gameplay related, but I'm always kind of baffled that people are so interested in our life and, you know, what we do and how we raise our kids and all that kind of thing. People who've come to us with relationship questions, people who've asked depression questions, you know, like stuff like that. I'm always a little humbled, but also baffled that, you know, people are that interested in us, because we're just us to me, you know, we're not anything special. So I do enjoy the Q&As. If there are a lot of patrons, I guess we will have to limit, because we can't be here for a week, you know, every day for a week answering questions, because we won't be able to do it all in 1, 2, or 3 streams. You know, there's a limit where you have to say, okay, this is too much. But 25 minutes to answering a question, to me, that you're being thorough. We're very grateful for the support that we get from all of you who have helped us buy this house, for example. You know, like, we wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for all of the support we've gotten from ads and from patrons and from Twitch subs and from bits. This is our job, you know, it's part of our work, and it's the same to me as going on Discord and answering questions and talking on there. It's the same to me as when he goes on Twitter and tweets. It's the same as talking to people in streams. It's all this interaction that people seem to enjoy. So to take 5 minutes and answer your question, to me, that's not really fair. That's not really worth you giving your money to us monthly. You know, you might not have a question every month either, right? So to me, it's all relative. So I don't feel that we're being exploited. To me, it's more about being practical. We might not be able to keep it up forever. There might come a time where we might have to stop doing the Q&As. We might have to cut them down. We might have to limit how many questions. We might have to limit how many each time we answer the questions. You know, part of the main reason why we do them like this now was because they were taking so much time when he was writing them out, and then I was reading them with him, and then he was publishing them that way. So
some people are really mad that those stopped. Even after being told how much time they take, you know.
It was like editing scripts. Yeah. That's how much time we were putting into this monthly. It was like he could have made another video, you know, like easily could have made another video with the amount of time that he would sit and write them, and then we would read them and edit them together before. So we were going through them twice. Yeah.
Which is why I think there's, like, as soon as we get properly set up here, video production should go back to close to what it was before Leo was born. Because stopping the written Q&As coincided with Leo and Finn taking up a lot of time. As I went into in detail in the Patreon post last time, it was taking up a lot of time, and still, even after explaining to people, like, look, this was taking me days, sometimes over a week to read, write, you know, sometimes research, and then edit. Because I don't want to put up anything that hasn't been edited by both me and Lily, you know, for just even simple mistakes, you know, or finding, you know, wrong use of possessive and contractions, getting rid of homophones, you know, that sort of thing. It's important that there's that level of polish that isn't, you know, mirror shine, but I don't want to put up anything that's really, really terrible like that onto Patreon. But even explain to people that there were still some patrons that I think they even took away the pledge. They were really mad, you know. I remember one person even said, you know, I missed the well thought out written post, not these shitty fucking streams. Oh, we missed the turn off. and I thought that was a little harsh. I remember seeing that and thinking, oh, that's a little over the top. All right. So we're a horrible driver. We're just gonna turn right around.
Someone in chat is saying, you know, they feels bad, man. The Discord is a job. I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean that to me, all interaction, to me, is interaction. Whether it's here right now, or whether it's in Discord, or it's a private message in Discord, or whether it's being asked questions for the Q&A. Like, it's all interacting with people, right? It's not when Joe started doing the videos, there wasn't any Twitter really, and there wasn't any Q&A, and it was just the videos at the beginning. And since then, it's changed, and we interact a lot more, and we're asked a lot of questions now, and we I try to go on Discord every day. I actually missed you guys a little bit when I wasn't on for 2 weeks when we moved. I actually did feel your absence, believe it or not, that I wasn't there seeing what was going on Discord. You know, I missed being a part. We missed the May Q&A, and we missed the June Q&A, and it's July 4th as we're doing this, and I felt bad that we hadn't done the Q&As when we were supposed to, and that we were so behind. You know, we weren't able to do them sooner than now. But I did miss doing them. You know, I do, as I said before, I don't know if it was on here or if it was in Discord, I do enjoy the streams. To me, it's still work. You know, it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning right now as we're doing this. I could be sleeping, but I am enjoying this. But it's still work, right? It's still a part of the whole Joseph Anderson video streaming bonanza, you know? So
Bonanza.
So yeah, I do enjoy it, but there is a level of it that is still work. So yeah, we try to be thorough. We try to make it worth your while as much as it's, you know, you're still paying for it. Whether you're paying $1 or you're paying more than $1, you're still contributing. I think Joe has said before, you know, we would rather have a lot of people pledging $1 every month and being satisfied than people pledging $25 a month and maybe not being satisfied, you know, with what's going on. So we still value, you know, no matter what level you're at, it all contributes to us, and we appreciate that. Like I said, we wouldn't be where we are right now if it weren't for you guys.
Sorry that I was giggling there because I tried to do that maneuver right in front of a cop, and I was like, oh no. That was really bad. I agree with pretty much everything that Lily just said. I will expand and say that sure, if everyone who pledges $3 took advantage of their questions every single month, then yeah, there would definitely be a problem, and it could be seen as maybe exploitative, and we'd have to probably raise the pay-in. You know, it's a $5 tier reward. I don't want to do that because I think that $3 is like $3 a month from so many people adds up to a lot of money. You know, it's something to keep in mind that I try to think about a lot. You know, it's like the Patreon number is quite high, and it's way more than I ever thought anything would ever get. But it's from a lot of people that have all pledged small amounts, and that's the way we want it to be, because not only does that what am I doing? Not only does that make it a bit more stable, it makes it makes it feel a bit more fair. It's not like there's only one person that's paying for all these videos, right? Sorry, I'm gonna get out of here at the moment. I already messed it up. But yeah, I think that this is a way for people to interact with us, and not feel like they're wasting our time or imposing on us, which sounds awful, but that's not. But that's not coming from me. That's coming from them as well. Like people have said to me, I wanna message you. I wanna have a conversation with you. I wanna I want to ask you some questions, but I also don't want to waste your time. I don't want to eat into video work. I know that you're a busy guy with a lot of the things going on in the channel and everything. So I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting your time and I'm not imposing too much. And the amount of questions that I get on emails and on Discord and on Twitter and everything means that I can't answer every single question like that. How did that hit that there? That was weird. I'm complaining about the hitboxes in Euro Truck Simulator. Nah, I probably hit it. I have put in more effort before we went through the move to answer all the posts that I get. I decided that a very brief, maybe even one sentence answer is still better than no answer at all. So because sometimes I get really, really long questions, especially on Twitter. And email, that I would look at it and I go, oh wow, this is a really in-depth question, and I would enjoy this conversation, and I would like to respond, but I just don't have the time. I'll respond later, and of course later turns into just completely forgetting about it, or I get 15 more messages in that week, and suddenly I'm not responding at all. So before we actually got on the plane and came over here, my new policy was that when I check the message, I just fire off a quick response that's a sentence long or something, and that's it done. Really? But then I got behind on that because we were in a hotel and I didn't always have time right then and there to answer. And hey, did you guys not hear the beeping?
And sometimes I have people ask me questions. They'll ask me in Discord, or they'll private message me in Discord, and it will be, we don't want to bother Joe. We know Joe's busy right now, but you're here. You're on right now.
We'll bother Lily.
Yeah, and I don't mind. Like I'm there, right? Like I said, I try to go on at some point during the day. I have it on. I check it from time to time. I'm watching the kids, I'm doing whatever else, and it's easy to check, so I don't mind. But I've had several people say to me, we don't want to bother Joe. We know Joe's busy, we know Joe's in the middle of a project, or Joe's streaming right now. Do you maybe know the answer to this, or could you find out for me, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we get, again, the personal questions, and again, if we can help somebody, I don't mind answering personal questions. We've answered a lot of them, I think, now, that are, like I said before, relationship related or child related. I'm having a baby and I want your advice on something, or depression related, or something like that. I've spoken to so many people in Discord, and we've had people come on here too and ask questions, and I don't mind if it helps somebody, then great.
So yeah, don't feel like you're explaining us at all. I enjoy doing these Q&As. I enjoy streaming a lot, not just for the games. I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy the interaction. I really enjoy people finding me funny. So I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. I feel grateful on many levels for the audience that I have, not just in terms of like Lily said, that we're in this house, and people respond to the videos a lot, but streaming has been another success on top of the success of the channel, because I found this audience that finds me really entertaining, and it still baffles me. I get on stream sometimes and I make the joke, I'm the worst streamer. And I'm not really kidding. Sometimes I really do feel like the worst streamer. And it's like, why do people watch me? I'm awful, And it's not like humble bragging or please compliment me or anything like that. It's just, that's how I feel sometimes, I see all these other streamers that are on Twitch, and they're a lot more put together, and they're a lot more focused, and they know what they're doing more. And I just feel like I just get on here and just ramble my fucking mouth off while I'm playing some dipshit anime game. And it's like, why do people watch me? But I make my stupid jokes, and people usually find them funny. I really enjoy, after stream is done, taking my pants off. No, going in and checking the highlights and see what do people find funny, the clips. And usually I laugh at my own stupid bullshit, because that's really what my goal is. My goal when it comes to any joke, even that stupid fucking Canadian bodybuilder tweet today, is to make myself laugh. is if I can make myself laugh, that's all I'm good. Like I'm Gucci. If anyone else laughs with me, okay, great. You know, like that's just bonus. But I'm primarily trying to make myself laugh. I don't have an audience in mind when I'm doing this shit. Same for the videos and same for the books. Really, like I write them for myself. Sometimes they might be trying to be a little more commercial than others, but there's always something in them that I'm trying to that I think I would enjoy myself. Can we go through here? So I feel very 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 lucky that that there are people that find me funny.
Besides me.
Besides you, yeah. So yeah, I enjoy it. So please, and this goes for anyone else that might feel like sometimes I get on a big rant and you know, it's like, oh, you paid $3 for sometimes an hour of my time. You know, like I'm going like I'm talking a lot, but no, I enjoy it. And there are other, if we're looking at pure finances, there's like a roll-on effect of this goes on YouTube and there are ads and we stream it at the same time, and you know there some people might be listening and finding what I'm saying interesting even if it wasn't their question. They might sub or they might give some bits, but that's just looking at pure finances. If we're talking outside of finances, you know, like I really enjoy doing this, and if it ever gets to the point that the Q&A is taking too much time, we will have to do something to limit it. But it's not going to be because, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to do it anymore. It's because, oh, it's taking up too much time and it's getting in the way of other projects that have to come first. You know, I'm Patreon is not, you know, answer my questions. It's for videos and for streams now. A lot of people support for the streams.
And again, we want to be able to give back to Patreon too. And there's kind of only so many ways you can do that, I think, right? Like there's limited ways that I can think of anyway that you can actually give something in return. So the Q&A is something that we can do and we enjoy doing and we don't mind doing it. And so yeah, ask away, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, there's a mirror on that other side? Oh, damn. Who knew trucks had a mirror on the right side? Damn, look at that mirror. Oh. Hey, there's a bumper on the left, too. I'm so good at driving. I'm so good at driving.
I'm so excited to get my license with you.
I'm so good. Well, I think driving a car is going to be a lot easier than driving a big fucking truck with a keyboard.
But you're driving so badly that even driving a car, you're like, I'm hoping will be a huge improvement.
But I'm driving like it's a first-person shooter. I'm just keeping W down and just plowing straight through everything. Who gives a fuck? You wear a
helmet when you start behind the wheel. I'll put little sticky notes on all the, you know, windshield wipers and signal.
Hydrate bot. I had two glasses of water and a tea at the beginning of the stream sitting in front of me, and I still have a little bit of water left. Don't worry, I'm good. Hydrate bot.
I need to pee, and I'm wishing there's a pee hole.
You need to pee?
I need to pee.
Okay.
I was waiting till we got through the question that included me before I sneak off now, so I'm going to leave you, and I'm going to go across the room, up the stairs, down the hall, around the corner. Like, where's the pee hole? Hydrate bot. I already hydrated.
You shouldn't say pee hole.
Why?
This is a Christian stream.
Mm.
Do you want me to take the laptop? Here.
No, I can do it.
What am I doing? I don't need to pause to do something. Here.
No, I can do it. I'm just
You
going to
can
put it
do
on
it?
the chair.
Okay.
You had a few people do stuff while you were talking. I don't know if you want to thank them or if you want to wait till I get back. I won't be long, but it's up to you.
I can't text and drive.
Okay. Wait for me then. I won't be long.
Although that's what they do in Moncton.
Haha. Yeah, seriously, you'll fit right in around here.
Yeah, there's not... Drivers are pretty bad around here. Speeding violation. That just means I'm delivering faster. Every speeding violation is a badge of honor. Oh shit! I'm sorry. He came out of nowhere. What the hell? No one could have stopped in time. He came out of. If this is a Christian stream, can Jesus take the wheel, please? This game is quite well made. It's fully realized, really. Can you drive a car in this game? I know that may sound stupid because it's Euro Truck Simulator, but can you drive a car? Does it always have to be a truck? Can I just drive around? Is there like a free drive mode? Probably with mods. Okay. How quickly does it... Oh, this one's already up. Oh, no. Break. Oh, it opened. No, it didn't. We gotta save time. This is an important delivery. Someone desperately needs this fucking tarmac crusher rolling thing. Hey buddy, rough day on the road, huh? Rough day on the road. How do I turn the radio on? Country road, take me home to the place. Steamroller, that's it. Thank you, yeah.
Thank you to Ralph Clogs who used 10 bits and says, Lily, please never let Joe drive. Thank you to Squid the Sid, who subscribed with Prime. Thank you to Pie Dude.
Thank you, Squid the Sid. Thank you.
Pie Dude 20111, who subscribed with Prime.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ariel Stannis, who used 115 bits and says, putting some money towards the taxis that Lily will have to take when Joe starts driving. Thank you. And thank you to Ralph Clogs, who used 100 bits and says, if this is Christian stream, can Jesus take the wheel, please?
I read that one. I saw that one. If I drive in the middle of the road, no one can ever overtake me and get in my way. So really, this is for the good of everyone. And I'm far away from the barrier, and I'm not getting docked for it. So who cares? Found an exploit. This is House Flipper all over again.
Thank you to Selfbow.
Can we knock over these?
I think it's Selfbow, who subscribed with Prime.
What are these made out of?
And thank you to SMH Rampage, who subscribed with Prime.
Okay, we just want to fly. He's just standing there like, yeah, whatever. I'm still using my calculator. Fuck this truck that just crashed. I'm just going to keep sweeping. Who cares? I'm knocking over every single one of these.
Okay, are we taking more, are we doing more Q&A, or are we doing Twitch, or what are we doing?
I have a weird story that I want to tell first. That's fairly short because the steamroller made me think of something, and I don't know, when I get these thoughts I like to share because maybe someone else out there has a similar thing and they find out that they're not alone, or maybe it's just some weird thing with me and I get to find out that it's just me, or maybe there's a name for anything. It's the thing with steamroller about steamrollers is that I have this memory of watching a movie when I was a kid. And I think it was either Total Overdrive or Maximum Overdrive. I can't remember what it was called. It was one of those two. And the movie was about a machines come to life and rebel against people. But it's not like Terminator. They're not robots. It's cars and bank machines and everything that has some sort of mechanical working to it. It's not just computers. It's they come to life and they become hostile to us. and you know, there's it was for a kid, it was quite scary. I was really young when I watched it. And I think it was at like a friend's house, and it was like, oh, we're gonna watch some scary movies,
and
Stephen
King,
apparently. And that was one of them. Is it Stephen King, really?
Yes, Overture.
And there's this part of the in the movie where a steamroller goes through a park and kills a bunch of kids. And there's a part where the kid gets rolled over by the steamroller and his skull gets smashed open. And I can't remember how graphic it is. In my head, it's very graphic, and you see the skull pop open. But I don't think that actually happens. I think in the next scene you see just blood on the steamroller part from where the kid got run over. And while I was watching it, I don't think there was vanilla Coke back then, but maybe there was, or maybe that was what I had. But I had some vanilla flavored drink, and from now on, for the rest of my life, and this was almost 20 years ago when I watched this movie, maybe even more than that. For the rest of my life, whenever I drink something that has vanilla in it, I think of that scene in the movie. Every single time, I think of that scene in the movie.
How a flavor or smell can do that too.
Yeah,
you can smell something and suddenly you're somewhere else.
Vanilla ice cream Coke or anything is fine, but a vanilla flavor mix with something else. So a vanilla milkshake's fine, but a vanilla flavor mix makes me think of that scene in that movie every single time, and I don't know why. It's weird how memory works that way. Does anyone else have anything like that? Like they have a like a maybe it was the smell at the time. There was a specific smell, because I know smell is very tied to memory, and that smell. The sense of smell is actually a lot of what you're tasting a lot of time when you think you taste. But yeah, that's what I remember. I also remember a part of that scene where some idiot knows that all machines are bad, and she plugs in an electric knife, and it becomes like a snake and cuts her arm open. Oh no! This turn. Okay, we made it. We were. I took my finger off W there. We were just gliding through. Leaf on the wind. An electric knife, like you plug it in, and it makes it easier to cut through things, like an electric saw. But I think maybe it's for bread or some shit. I don't know. I can't remember. Is it weird that I have smells that remind me of games I played? No, I don't think so. I think that's why I'm bringing the story up. I think that most people have some things like that.
Association, it's called.
Yeah. Why not just use a sharper knife? Maybe they didn't have one. I don't know. I'm not Stephen King. Or am I?
What if you were?
What if I was? Anyway, go ahead with Patreon now. So I was taking a 3 a.m. poop, and
you're too late now.
I was drinking some vanilla Coke and thinking about how it's not over the range at all. Vanilla Coke is nasty. I hate vanilla Coke.
Anthony I says, at Joe, what are your thoughts on Hearthstone in 2018 in comparison to when you made your video on it back in 2015, and do you still play it?
I got some cards in the latest expansion because I fully intend to play the game a little bit with every expansion, just so I stay up to date in it, just in case I want to make another video on it. But as time has gone by, even though...
Sorry, what?
I'm just a terrible driver. As time has gone by, I've realized that I don't need to do that, because while the Hearthstone video was a big break for the channel at the time, it didn't really. You know what? We're committed at this point. Who cares? Red lights are not for me. It's not worth it for me to do another Hearthstone video, just in case, in case of emergency, break glass and make the Hearthstone video that'll bring everyone back, to subscribe. That's not it at all. If there is an emergency break glass video, it's probably Fallout 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, and Skyrim. Those are the videos that I think that would get a lot of views and everything if the channel was dwindling. But for some reason, because Hearthstone was the first big break that the channel had, it was in my head as something I need to maintain for a long time. So I tried to stay up to date. I read the subreddit a lot. I bought some packs and I played the game for like maybe 10 hours or so for every new expansion that came out. But the past 2, maybe even 3, I haven't bothered doing that. And I'm very happy that I don't have to do it because the game fucking sucks. Why is it not telling me I'm done? Did I miss it? Yeah, I may have to go back out if I can. Did I go in the wrong place? Maybe I missed it. Anyway, as for what I think the state of the game, I think the game is even worse than it was back when I made the video on it. That said, I am not up to date on what it is currently right now. From I don't check the subreddit anymore, but I still am subscribed to it, and that's the only place that I get some Hearthstone news from. Apparently, they recently did some decent things with quests, and they were a bit more generous with giving out rewards and stuff. So maybe it's a little better. I don't know. I'm not sure, but when a couple months ago, I'm gonna say that it was in a worse state than it was before, and they were really wringing out the money from people and kind of taking the piss in a way, to get all British for a second. Completely taking the piss, and I think that they should be ashamed of themselves considering how generous they could be with that game. I still stand by almost everything I say in that game that isn't specific balance issues, because obviously those are changed now that they're doing different expansions, and some cards aren't even relevant anymore. But that's also part of the problem, is that you invest yourself into these packs, into these expansions that are irrelevant, but you don't really get any of the costs back for them, right? I know a lot of different physical card games are like that too, but you also get cards that you can sell and collect and enjoy and feel in your hand and actually admire. I mean, some people just like collecting the cards, so they have them, and you can get that feeling somewhat in Hearthstone, but it's nowhere near the same. I don't think anyone would argue that. Definitely not the game for me. I highly recommend that no one starts playing that game unless it has some big changes. It is too expensive, and they have gotten a little better at balancing it, but they're still really, 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 really slow, and I think that Blizzard should be way better than that. But my opinion of Blizzard has plummeted in recent years, and I think that the corporate side has really taken over, and you're seeing a lot of people leave now that have been there for a while. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe there's a lot of different reasons why they're leaving, and it's just a coincidence. But I don't think they're really interested in making great games anymore. They're more interested in the money and making really accessible games that that are good enough to pass a lot of like the fanboy standards, but are just really geared at milking their audience as much as possible. But I'm pretty negative on Blizzard, so maybe you shouldn't listen to me. I mean that genuinely. I'm not doing that to cover my ass. I genuinely mean it. I'm really negative on them, so I'm almost certainly biased. I think I'm done.
At Joe and Lily, how do you plan to raise your boys when it comes to religion? As somebody that was raised in a very Christian home, only to become an atheist adult, stuck with habits like saying Jesus and God all the time in my sentences despite my lack of faith, I'm curious as to the idea of children not growing up using such words, considering every human society in existence has some form of religion in it.
I say God is a lot too. I say Jesus Christ a lot.
I say, oh my God.
I think it's I think it's just part of our culture, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. I consider myself more atheist than agnostic, although if you ask me this question a couple months from now, I might say I'm more agnostic than atheist. I don't know. Yeah, this is kind of a political question, or it's in that kind of area. Political has become catch-all term for controversial because it all feeds into each other, and it gets to be difficult and touchy subjects. But we've discussed it before on stream, haven't we, Lily?
I think we have. We've touched on it a little bit.
We've gone through it. I think religions are dangerous. I think groups are dangerous. I think any sort of group that you get into and there starts to be groupthink, and that especially online when you get into insulated communities, which are sort of like what I imagine religious communities would have been throughout history, and to some extent even now. Once you get insulated and isolated, opinions and outlooks that are related to whatever brought the gathering of the group together in the first place become more and more and more extreme as time goes on. They become more unreasonable, and it's sort of like a boot camp for arguing with opposing viewpoints, that you can argue amongst each other and you can share your arguments that you've had, and then when you get into disagreements with other people from other groups, you already have all this all these weapons of arguments that you can just unload on them, and that becomes like a form of sort of like a warfare race or an arms race, where the other group has to do the same thing, and if you're not part of a group, you can't really be equipped to deal with that sort of disagreement. I've had disagreements online even after having the channel. I had a lot of people attack me when I did my whole "can you please stop talking about politics so fucking much on Twitter if you're a video game channel?" If you're a political channel or you're literally in politics, and tweet as much as you fucking want, but you're a video game channel and you're tweeting more about politics than actual politicians, I think that maybe you should shut the fuck up, and that's me being polite. The shut the fuck up is being polite. I think that these things are far more complicated than you and I can really fully understand, and that these really flippant tweets about things like that can do so much damage and can lead people to have really, really narrow, poor opinions of things. And that's related to religion because it's all about the groups. Religion is in particular dangerous because it's not based on reason, it's not based on fact, it's based on belief, and that is the whole point of it. And do you take that away and suddenly it's not even religion anymore? I think there's something very beautiful about that, even though I don't like it and I think it's dangerous. And I mean that genuinely. There's something very, very beautiful about this idea, and thinking that there's more to life, and committing yourself to an ideal, and sharing that with somebody, and sharing that with a group, and enjoying everything that comes with it. And then there's a form of serenity and peace that I don't think I'll ever have, because I'm not into that. But I see that there's too much damage, and we're still feeling the ramifications of different religions, and not really because they're religions, it's because of groups clashing all over the world. And I'm not going to sit here and be the edgy atheist and say, well, if everyone just stopped believing in God, they would all go away. No, I don't think so. I think it might help, but I think eventually these ideologies are just going to be shifted into different areas. And there'll be different battlegrounds, there'll be different reasons to fight and everything else like that, but it doesn't seem all that healthy to me. In my experience, there's a lot of abuse that I would rather not expose my kids to, even if it's rare. In religion, and any form of any institution that has power over another person is going to have people that abuse it. Teachers are another one, schools, and I don't want to go through that. I also don't like the idea of bowing down and just giving over that power and responsibility to somebody else, and I don't want to teach my kids that. I don't know if Lily is extreme as I am in this way, or maybe even she's more extreme, because Lily was religious earlier on in her life. I never really was, and that's how I feel about it. I don't want to expose my kids to it, but I'm probably still going to say God and Jesus Christ in front of them. I'll still explain what it is to them, and if they want to explore that, then I will be okay with it. I won't be that kind of person that's like, no, fuck you can't do that. Like, no, if they want to explore it, they can. There's very, very, very little few things that my kids could do that would make me just completely just be like I'm so disappointed in you. I'm not talking to you anymore. Even if they killed someone, I would probably just, I'd like, and they're, convicted and in jail, I think I would still visit them and just be like, what the hell, what happened? I mean, like, even that wouldn't be enough to cut them off, and that's like probably the most extreme thing I can think of right now. It would just be more of a why, like what the hell happened, So yeah, I'm not that extreme about it, but yeah, I'm not interested at all. That's my answer. Good luck, Lily.
I was raised religious in a weird kind of way, in that my parents weren't really religious. My dad was atheist, but my mother thought she was religious, but didn't really know anything about the religion more than her parents had taught her. So when I was taught religion, it wasn't in a school situation. It wasn't, here's the Bible to read. It was just, this is what we do, and you just do it. This is how it's done. So I had, religious propaganda in my bedroom. I had this picture of Mother Mary under my mattress to ward off bad luck and bad spirits. I had a picture on the wall of the whole, now I lay me down to sleep, I pray to God my soul to keep, and all that kind of thing. I wore a cross. But I didn't really understand the religion. I would fast for Easter. I would do the 40 days after someone died. I did all the rituals that they told me to do, because that's how it was done, and I enjoyed them. I found them comforting, and I liked going to church and lighting the candles, and I was raised Greek Orthodox, so there was the chanting and the incense, and there's a lot of ambiance with it that is very, very comforting and stuff. But when it came to answering questions and stuff, nobody could ever really answer them. And it wasn't really until I met Joe, actually, that he started asking me questions about it, and I couldn't answer them. Well, why do you think that? Well, because I was told that. Well, is there anything to back that up? Well, no, it's just how I was told. And so he said to me, well, why don't you read the Bible then? Because then you'll understand all of these things that you really don't understand about it. So I read the Bible, and I read the Old Testament. I didn't get as far as the New Testament, and I read it, and I couldn't believe what I was reading, and I was frankly quite horrified. And when I tried telling my family what I was reading, they just brushed it off as, well, the translation in Greek, I guess, seemed a little bit better to them, but again, most of them didn't really know what they were believing in either. So, it was just... My mother now believes she's more spiritual, for example, and has read all these books on different spiritualities and stuff, but she still wanted me to baptize my kids in the Greek Orthodox religion, because that's how it's done. And that's what her parents have done, and, their parents, and so on and so forth.
And we didn't baptize them, which turned into a big problem.
It was a big, big problem, and still to this day I get guilted a little bit about it, because they don't understand what happened and why I don't believe anymore, and why I don't go along with it. I don't fast anymore. I don't wish them properly happy Easter anymore. I don't do it anymore. And a lot of it, they just blame Joe and say, well, Joe's the reason that Lily's not religious anymore. But it's because I read the Bible, and I didn't agree with what I was reading, and it just seems so extreme and so violent to me, and it just took away all of that comfort I was talking about that I would feel when I would go to church. I don't feel it anymore now. It's
They're still gorgeous though, huh? Churches are... It
is, and there's just something about lighting the candles and everything.
Cathedrals as well.
But I just, it's damaged for me now that now I know what it really is all about, and... I tried reading about other religions. I went through a phase when I was about 21 where I was really, really depressed, and my uncle had just died, and he was the only one in the family that I really felt I connected with. And he wasn't a very religious man, but when he died, we all went to the funeral, and there was a priest, and it was extremely religious, and they kept saying, pray for him, pray for his sins, and I kept thinking, well, he paid enough. He died from cancer. He suffered at the end a lot. And I just kept thinking, we're not here for him, we're here for us. And again, my grandmother is religious, and it was her brother. So we were there praying for his sins, not for him. We were praying because she wanted us to pray, essentially. And I had a really, really hard time with that. I watched him deteriorate to the point that I wanted him to go at the end because he was suffering so badly. And then when he was gone, I was having a really hard time with, well, where did he just go? Because I went from visiting him in the hospital regularly to now there's just nobody to visit. And there's just never going to be another conversation again or anything like that. And I wanted to believe then. And I was reading the Bible again, and I was reading up on other religions, and I was just searching for anything that I wanted to find something that I could say, yes, I believe in this. This is what happens when you die. I have an answer. I feel better now. I can get on with things. And I was depressed on my own, aside from that, because I didn't know I was bipolar yet. So I was still up and down and all over the place without knowing why. And it all kind of got all wrapped up into one thing. If I could just find the answer to what I believed in, I would understand myself, and I would understand why I was depressed, right? It was all intertwined for me. I was young again too, right? I was 21. We had just moved in together. It was I was trying to go to school. It was a very dramatic time for me in my life. So from one point of view, I kind of don't want to subject my kids to stuff that I don't agree with. But on another point of view, I want them to make their own decisions too. And I love history, and I love reading about philosophy, and I haven't retained a whole lot of it, so don't ask me. But again, it's been about 10 years since I read a lot of these things. But ideally, I think I would love to have conversations with them. I would love to give Finn a book or Leo a book and say, what do you get out of this? And read the Bible and read the Quran and, read the Torah, read these books. What are you getting out of it? What do you think? Can we talk about it without forcing it on them that you must believe this? And, teach it like a history lesson. You know what I mean? I don't want them to not know anything about it just because I don't talk to them about it. And I don't want them to interact with other people and not know anything about it just because I'm ignorant. You know what I mean? I don't want them to be ignorant because I'm ignorant. Pagan books, Wiccan books, I don't care what kind of books. They're all, people believe in these things. They might meet people in their lives that believe in these things. And I feel they should be educated. But that doesn't mean that I want them to believe it. And that doesn't mean that I believe it. And that doesn't mean that I'll hate them or be disappointed if they do believe it. But I just kind of feel like knowledge is power. And I wasn't raised to be knowledgeable. I was just raised to be a sheep. And I don't like being a sheep. I don't want them to be sheep either. That's it.
That's it? Someone said that teaching them a little bit of math early on is good. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Finn's learning to count, so we're getting there. He knows 2. He doesn't know anything other, but he knows if there's 2 things, then he knows that there's 2.
I enjoyed math when I was in school.
At Joe. Have you ever played any games from the Devil May Cry series? I feel like your appreciation for the difficulty in a series like Dark Souls would be shared for the DMC series, especially the 3rd game, which was notorious for being one of the most difficult PS2 games of all time.
Yep, I've played all of them except for DMC, the newest one. I played pretty much all of them at release or very soon after release. I think the one that I played the longest after it came out was probably Devil May Cry 4. Yeah, I enjoyed them quite a bit. I've spoken about them on Discord a bunch, maybe a little bit on stream too, I can't remember. I really, really enjoyed the first one and the 3rd one. I think the first one is probably my favorite. Just really, really, it got to me when it first came out. It was so cool. It was so different. Especially reading up about it at the time. It was supposed to be this more Resident Evil, and it went into this completely different direction, and infinite ammo, and it's got this like this you're it's like the Doom kind of thing that you're a bigger monster than the monsters you're fighting. It was such a stylish, cool game. 3 is probably the better put together game, but I just like the first one more. I like the attitude of Dante in the first one more. I've said this a few times before, I think. The gameplay felt just a little more solid in the first one. I don't mean better, just a bit more hefty to it. I don't know. It's been a while since I played the third one, or any of the Devil May Cry's really. I think I played the first one most recently, maybe a year or so, maybe 2 before beginning the channel, and I thought it held up quite well. I can't remember exactly when I last played it. 2 was really bad. It was really disappointing in 2. But I already read that it was disappointing before I played it, and I think maybe I went in there expecting disappointment, and I judged it more harshly than I should have back when I was a teenager. I read, it's such a shit game, and then we rented it, and I was like, yeah, they're right, it's so shit, look how bad it is, and I don't think I was really equipped to understand why it was bad. I just remember not enjoying it very much. But yeah, I think the first one is my personal favorite, whereas I think the third one is probably the better game overall. 4 was decent. It was pretty, but I didn't like how you start at the beginning and you go in a straight line all the way to the end, and then you turn around and go back through the whole entire environment all over again all the way to the beginning. That is how it works, isn't it? It's been a while since I played it. It was good. I enjoyed it. I didn't want to be whatever the fuck his name is. I wanted to be Dante. I can't even remember his name. It's not Virgil, is it? Virgil is his brother, right? Who's the kid in Devil May Cry 3? Someone in chat will say. And as much fun as it is filling Dark Souls with light, it's just not.
Nero.
It's Nero. It's just not that. It just didn't grab me as much as the other ones did. I'm hoping that the 5th one is good. I think that DMC is probably still a decent enough game. I'm sure it's better than Devil May Cry 2. There's no way it's worse than Devil May Cry 2. I'd like to play all of them again, especially now that they're all on Steam. Definitely, I think I'll go through them at some point. I don't know if I'll stream them. I can't really remember them very well. I wasn't the best player at them. I didn't find them very difficult, though, but I didn't play them on the hardest difficulty setting, so maybe that's why. Dude, you have so much room. Go. You have so much room. I stopped way in time. There's no way that was scary. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I never played on the hardest difficulty, so maybe that's why maybe a lot of people just started rolling their eyes right now. Like, you didn't play them, so that your opinion doesn't count because you didn't play it on Dante Must Die mode. But I don't know. Oh wait, no. Did I play it? I think I got really into the first one, so maybe I did play that one on the hardest difficulty mode. And I remember struggling quite a bit, actually. I don't know why. There's something about that just triggered a memory in me. It devil triggered it, and I remember dying a lot to it's Virgil, right? Virgil's in the first one, right? Like, you're the big armored dude. I remember dying to him a lot, so maybe I did play on the hardest difficulty mode. And I remember really having to learn how all that worked, and managing your devil trigger to heal back your life for mistakes. Yeah, maybe I did. I don't think I played the third one on the hardest difficulty mode, though. Yeah, I enjoyed them. I think they're really, really good games. I think that a lot of people are surprised when they ask me that question, and I say that I have played them, because I really like the combat system in Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and a lot of people have said, and I've seen it on discussions online when I am shamefully googling my own name, that I see he thinks Dark Souls is the best combat system. I don't think it's the best combat system, but I think it's pretty good because he hasn't played Devil May Cry. And then people ask me, I'm like, no, I have played them. I played them at release. I think they're really, really great. But there's something about Dark Souls I like even more. Like, Dark Souls is a lot more grounded. It appeals to me a lot. If I played them all right now, maybe I would prefer Devil May Cry. But they're still, it's like apples and oranges to me.
Want to turn your lights on and stop scaring chat?
I did turn them on. You know what? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Well, I guess we're going this way. My indicators will be on for the whole run. No, I'm kidding. That would get annoying. Yeah, so I'm hopeful for Devil May Cry 5. The tone of the trailer seemed kind of weird to me, and the combat seemed a bit slow. And as I said that while I think I was in Discord. I don't think I tweeted that. Maybe I did tweet. I can't remember. I really wish we could have done the E3 streams. I'm sorry, everybody. I know I'm not gonna putting off getting the house is not a good decision on any level. Because we have to stream E3, but at the same time, I really wish we had streamed E3. I was looking forward to that all year, and being snarky live instead of having to tweet it like that. It would. Oh, God damn it! I could have made it. But yeah, I wish we had streamed it. I thought that it looked a bit slow in the trailer. Like the combat looked not as quick as the other games, but maybe I'm misremembering. But honestly, I got to be honest with myself right now. I'm getting up there, right? So, in terms of video games, I'm not. In terms of life, I'm not old. I'm 33 this year. That's not old. As much as I joke about being the old man of the video game analysis group, it's not that old. But in video game years, which is like dog years, it is pretty old. There are no 33-year-old esport players. You know what I mean? And if they are, they're the grandfathers of the place, and I don't think they're winning. Maybe there's some Smash players that are that good because the experience is just so is so valuable there. I'm not sure, but yeah, maybe it's better for me that it's looking to be a bit slower. But I don't know. I think I got a good couple of years left in me. I don't know. I think I'm okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I'll stream them and finally play DMC. Bayonetta is kind of the same thing. Let's see how Bayonetta goes. I've committed to Bayonetta. I'm sure people are going to judge me really harshly in the Bayonetta streams. I was talking on Discord earlier about how maybe I should play it once off stream beforehand. I've only played it for about an hour. And when I was playing it, I told Turbo Button, I'm like, hey, I'm playing Bayonetta for the first time. And he's like, you've never played Bayonetta? And I was like, no, I've never played it. He's like, crikey, never played a Bayonetta? Well, make sure you're doing your dodge offsets. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, didn't you watch my Bayonetta video? And I was like, yes. He's like, well, then you should know what it is. And I was like, well, I can't remember. And he's like, you hold, when you're dodging, hold the fire button down and you will be able to continue your combo. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds cool. I'll do that. And he's like, yes, you will. I'm gonna go be snooty and British elsewhere now. And that was my conversation. And that seemed pretty good. So I know how to do that. I don't know how often I'm gonna do it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure people are gonna be critical. But that's okay. That's part of streaming, right? It's fun to be critical. It's exactly how John sounds, by the way. If you've never spoken to John. Anyway, what's the next question?
Sorry, I hate this stuff.
Sorry, I wasn't looking at the screen. It took my eyes off. I was reading chat. Oh no.
That's it for him. So, thank you to Twisted Tootsie, who resubscribed with Prime for 9 months. BTTV emotes enabled when feels good, man.
Uh-oh.
Thank you to SMH Rampage, who used 100 bits and says, oh look, my favorite content creator, Jose Fanderson, is back at it again at last.
Thank you for the bits, and thank you for the sub. I don't know if we're gonna activate those emotes. We've gone this long without having them. Mikey on Discord helps me out with Twitch and some marketing things because I'm terrible at that. So if you want me to activate those emotes, you have to convince Mikey. Is what I'll say, and I'll just completely pass the buck. If you convince Mikey that we should turn them on, then I'll turn them on.
Thank you to Zay Jr., who resubscribed with Prime for 7 months.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to Sotrot Watpot, I think, who subscribed. And thank you to Sotrot Watpot, or Sotro Tupot, or maybe, I'm not sure, who used 500 bits and says...
See, it's hard saying the names, isn't it?
It's really hard.
It's
Because
hard saying the
you don't know
names.
where one syllable ends and the next one starts.
Exactly.
Been reading and watching your content for years. Wanted to finally sub to you when you finished your move. Congratulations. Here's to a happy home, Joseph.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think someone else also asked what's the schedule going to be now that we've moved. I don't know yet. It's going to depend on what the noise level is like during the day with the kids. The house is a lot bigger than our apartment, but the ceiling between the first floor and the second floor isn't what I would call, thick. So it is quite noisy. The noise carries. It echoes up the stairs as well. However, the spare bedroom upstairs that will become the office for that station, because there's going to be another office in the basement, is quite quiet whenever I'm in there. So I think it might work out well. But just so everyone knows this and is clear about this, I accidentally hit spacebar. Sorry, this is a new keyboard and I'm not used to it. We're never going to be going back to what the streams were like before with Persona 5. That was too much streaming, and it was taking too much out of me. But it's going to be way more than it was after Persona 5. But it's not going to be 7 days a week, as much as possible, 11 a.m. till whenever. I mean, it's not going to be that. But it'll be way more than it was after that. And there will be something of a schedule, but I think I'm going to be more flexible when it comes to deviating from the schedule when it comes to big video work time. I'm going to be more likely to take a few days off, maybe even a week off when I get into crunch mode on the video, instead of trying to do both. Because there were a couple of times there where I think that I was maybe not even approaching. Maybe I was even way past it, where that wasn't healthy.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't good. So I don't think, showing. I'm in the grocery store getting groceries first thing in the morning, and I don't remember walking there.
There's a lot of things you don't remember, even about the videos that you've set up.
Yeah.
That you were just.
But
pilot mode,
Sleep. Oh, look at the cows in there. Look at the cows. Damn. So much details in this game. Yeah, so I think I'm going to have to be more taking care of myself a little bit more when it comes to that sort of thing. Yeah.
And thank you to Slice919 who resubscribed for 9 months and says, quick question, do you think your stream schedule will change now that you've moved? And you just answered that.
That was the one I saw, yeah.
And DKN is here, who used to be here a lot at the beginning. Do you remember DKN?
I remember DKN, yep.
And said that he's about to become a dad. And you have any dadly things that he can look forward to, like dad jokes and barbecuing?
I haven't barbecued yet. Dad jokes are a given. You have to do the dad jokes. I've always wondered why it is that dads like fart and burp more than any other type of man. And the reason for that is because it makes the kids laugh. Especially burping. I try not to fart because farting is way more gross than burping. But every time I can burp as loud as possible, Leo and Finn just light up and go crazy. It was one of the first words both of them learned. They go burp. They shout it. They're so excited. Big burp. So that's why. So practice on that. It's good.
Once they hit about 4 months and they can hold their head up a little bit, then you can throw them up in the air and catch them and give the mother a heart attack, because he's really good at that too.
And also some serious advice that is a little maybe unorthodox. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. There's a lot of frustration that's involved in being a dad, and there are going to be times where. Especially in the baby phase, when there's a lot of crying, that you may want to, throw the baby across the room. And the important thing is that you don't, but the important thing is that you recognize and you realize that you're being that frustrated, and that you don't beat yourself up for feeling that, because you're frustrated. You're just human. That's your reaction. And to recognize when you're like that and just walk away and just let the baby cry. Just put the baby down, walk away, and take whatever time you need. and just recognize that. Don't lie to yourself and pretend that everything is fucking hunky dory, and that there are no problems. And like, I'm not frustrated at all right now. No, just don't bottle it up. Just admit it. I read a story that there's a hospital that the nurses always say to the dad after the baby's born, are you in a house? And if they say yes, they say, okay, is there a tree in the backyard? And like, yeah. It's like, okay, well, do you have a tire swing? Like, no. It's like, okay, well, when you get home, the first thing you should do is install one. And whenever the baby annoys you, go outside with a baseball bat and beat the shit out of the tire swing on the tree, and then go back inside and you'll feel better, because there's so much frustration involved in the kids crying, and you just need to be able to vent it out. But it gets better. That's my serious advice and my fun advice.
The baby's going to cry. He'll cry a lot. And if the baby is not hungry or needs to be changed and is in no danger, then you can put the baby down and close the door and go and take a break. Like, just let the baby cry a little bit.
Sunflower fields.
Baby's going to cry. No matter what you do, baby's going to cry. And if the baby's crying a lot, see if it's still hungry, because we had that problem where I didn't know, and babies can be hungry even when you think they're not hungry. So that is my big advice whenever I hear someone's expecting now, is just because you think they just ate, they might be hungry. So always try that, and they might shut up.
Did I do it with the tire swing? Oh, we were in an apartment, so I couldn't do that. When I got really frustrated with the kid crying, I would just go in the other room, and I would try and put distance between myself and the baby crying as much as possible. But we were fairly lucky in the baby phase. Our kids, 9 times out of 10, especially with Finn, when
was a really good baby.
Yeah, when they cried, it was for a reason. So you go through the checklist, and it was usually that they were hungry, and that was it. So they didn't cry for hours and hours and hours. But when it came to sleep training, Leo is still bad. There have been nights within the past couple months where Finn's asleep and me and Lily are in the living room, and we're just kind of looking at each other like, those close-ups in Ren and Stimpy when it shows their eyes all bloodshot and veiny, and we're just kind of looking at each other like, what the fuck? And we just kind of sit there and just kind of try to meditate as much as possible and kind of share our grief as Leo is just fucking screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming because he doesn't want to go to sleep, because that's what sleep training is. Yeah. So we got lucky. Yeah. And we know we got lucky, and we're very appreciative of that. Yeah. Anyway, my battery is dying on the tablet, and it is 20 to 5. So let's take the last Patreon question of the night, and then we'll take some more from chat real quick, and then we'll call it, and then we'll finish them probably tomorrow night or the night after. Sound good?
We could do that. It looks like there's 3 questions though, and they are paragraphs.
Are they?
Yeah. So I don't know if you maybe want to just take your final questions now, and we'll pick this up tomorrow or something.
Okay, let's do that then. If they're really elaborate, let's do that.
Yeah,
so
they look like there's a whole page for this person. That's next.
Someone in chat says, babies can't communicate any other way. Yeah, that's definitely it. You can't blame the baby. The way I justified part of it, was if I don't speak to my parents anymore. My mom is dead, and I don't speak to my dad anymore. But if I was speaking to my parents, and my parents said to me, you were a horrible, horrible baby, you did nothing but cry, because I don't know if I was, because I can't talk to them. If they said that to me, I would say, well, I'm sorry, but you're the one who decided to have me, and I was just a baby. I wasn't in control of it at all. I didn't have any say. I don't remember crying. There wasn't a reason. And that's how I would feel, and I would feel kind of slighted and a bit pissed if they were annoyed at me and resentful that I would cry a lot as a baby. And that's how I felt with the kids when they were crying a lot, especially Leo. It's like, well, but we're the ones that decided.
Leo's he's more sensitive than Finn though in every way.
Yeah.
He's a more cuddly baby. He wants to be held more. He wants to be cuddled. he cries when he's hungry, whereas Finn, he would go a long time where, you'd have to remember to feed Finn. Finn wouldn't tell you he was hungry. You had to, what time is it? It's time to feed Finn. Whereas with Leo will cry with food in his mouth that he's hungry. He just wants more and more.
Yeah, he will.
Leo cries for everything, whereas Finn didn't really cry. So every baby's different, but I just think it's a personality thing with him that he's just a more sensitive kid. So I don't feel resentful or anything that he is. It's just that's who he is. It's he wants to be held more and everything. He wants to be consoled. Whereas Finn is more independent and didn't need that.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna get right back into it because we're probably gonna have another one, right?
Yeah.
We're probably gonna have a third one.
I'm curious if it's gonna be another Finn or another Leo or another version entirely.
We don't know when, but it's likely gonna happen.
So it's not that bad if we're willing to go through it again, right?
Yeah. Any other questions from anybody in chat? I have a question that I missed throughout the night. Maybe Lily has seen one that's been missed a lot, and I can answer it.
I think we got most of the ones that I saw before.
Do you guys expect a girl? We hope so. We would hope for a girl. Yeah, 3 boys would be kind of cool, but yeah, we both wanted a girl.
Oh, this one was before. If you want to have more of a conversation with your community, have you considered doing a call-in radio style segment on stream? Drag people from your Discord into private. Give them 2 minutes. I thought it was a thing. To talk with you on a question or topic. The next one, I know letting people from the internet on the platform as it was, binge its dangers and problems, but it's a thought if you want to let people take even more of your time.
If we were going to do that, I would have to have probably someone in something of a producer role that's sitting there, and with a delay on it, maybe even have it pre-recorded and then put up just to be safe. Then I wouldn't have to have the producer role. But then that's kind of boring, right? And because so maybe a delay would work, because yeah, as you say, having someone on the internet, yeah, there's a specific song I'm thinking of right now that sums up what could happen, if that went wrong, and I don't want to risk the whole stream getting banned. But yeah, I like the idea, and I think that's neat. I would like to go into Discord voice chat. I don't go in there at all. I did a couple times when it was new. But the problem was whenever I went in there, it would get really rowdy, and I would end up not talking. I would end up listening more. When there's a big conversation going on with people, I prefer to listen rather than talk. When I'm by myself or it's a one-on-one, then it's a lot more. Especially if I'm comfortable with the person, I like to talk and engage them more. But I'm usually on the reactionary side of the conversation. I like to listen, consider, respond, rather than drive the conversation. So when there's like a big group like that and there's no aim to the talk, a lot of people start to talk over each other, and I'm not even in voice chat at that point. I'm just listening, and then that can go on for hours. And it's like, okay, well, when do I leave? I need to go. See you later. And yeah, and then there's like people want to be in voice chat with me, and usually it's the same people that get in there really quickly, and other people feel slighted, that sort of thing. But yeah, having more structured sounds like a good idea. That could work. Reactionary is not the word you're looking for, anything. So yeah, probably not.
Some people do really well with having kids at a young age. They're talking about having kids at 21. It just depends on the person. I worked with a woman who was, I think, 21 when she had her kids. Her husband was a lot older than her, and when they got married, he wanted kids right away, and so they did. And she's in her 40s now, and her kids are grown up, and she's living it up. She's having all the fun now that she didn't have when she was in her 20s, and they're established now, and they're financially secure, and the kids are in school, and so people can do it in all different ways. People can do it take a while to have kids and get established and have fun in their 20s and travel and or they can do it early and do it backwards. So it really just depends on the person and on the couple and on what's right for you. There's no right or wrong, I don't think. And yeah, 3 will be difficult. Someone said 3, you have 3 now, or 3 will be harder, but our kids don't have cousins or anything, so I want them to have more than just each other. I wonder if we had more of a family situation in an extended sense, if maybe I would be more ready to stop it too. But we don't have that, so they won't have uncles and aunts or cousins or anything like that, right? So
is there a list of all of the crashes and everything that I've had? Is that somewhere? That would appeal to me.
Just wanted to say that I have difficulty sleeping, but your videos help me sleep, and I swear that's a compliment, except I'm out of videos now.
Quite a few people said that to me, so yeah, I don't take it as an insult. I'm glad that I can do that for you. Don't worry about it. You're out of it. Even the VODs. The VODs might be good for that. But no, I definitely understand. Don't worry. I'm not offended.
16 kids. Yeah.
Is that even possible?
3 or someone in my extended had 16 kids.
16 kids.
3 or 4. That's it. That's it for me. They don't have cousins, but they don't need that many cousins,
At what point do you not remember them very well?
I don't know.
I think 16 is definitely within the realm of you're gonna maybe get names mixed up all the time and not really remember the interest of all of them and everything. I think 16 is way too many.
Months ago, I asked you about the possibility of subtitles in another language. What do you think about that today? Can be possible with the help of the community, or you prefer to pay someone if you ever make it?
Some people have done them for videos that have subtitles on them. I think someone even did them for videos that don't have subtitles on them. Subtitles is one of those things that I keep meaning to do, and I will forget about, and then I'll wake up in a cold sweat and be like, oh shit, the subtitles, I should be working on that. But the problem with subtitles just for English is that it's whatever the length of the video is multiplied by 3 is how long it's going to take me to add subtitles to it, especially with YouTube system, which is very good, but it's a very time consuming process. And that might not seem like a lot, a video, 1 hour video, it's 3 hours, but there are a lot of videos, and it's like a big long walk, and you can see where you have to be at the end of it, and you can see how long it is, and you just kind of want you just look at it and go, fuck that, I'm not doing it. And that's a bad attitude, but that's the reality of it. And also any hour of work I put in that isn't actively going toward either a stream or a video or something that's new content is hard to justify when content has been so scarce because of the move and everything. But yeah, I do want to do it. I think that subtitles are important. When I first started the channel, I didn't know how to do it, but I always wanted to have subtitles on there. So I will do it eventually, and hopefully if people want to translate it afterwards, they can. I don't think that's something that I'm gonna hire to do, because with all the different languages that would have to happen, I think that could get expensive very quickly. And whoever did the work, I would want to pay them fairly. So I think it's gonna have to be on the fan side of things. Unfortunately, I don't know if that makes me an asshole, but there has to be not a complete return. Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm making a profit on doing these subtitles on, but if it's going to cost me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars per language because they're long videos, then that's just not feasible. You know what I mean? With the amount of languages that would have to happen, unfortunately. Any other questions? I'm guessing that we're probably not going to finish this drive. I think that the battery on the tablet's going to run out soon. And it's almost 5 o'clock.
I hear birds.
I hear birds chirping, yeah.
And I think more boxes are coming tomorrow, so we should be awake in about 4 hours.
About what time is the next stream going to be? It's hard to say. Like, we had an estimate tonight, and it turned out to be off by 2 hours because Finn took forever to fall asleep. I was really tempted to cancel it, actually, because it took so long, and I was so tired after I came downstairs. But I'm happy that we didn't, because this turned out to be pretty good. I perked up a bit, so I think we're okay. Yeah, so I would like to continue tomorrow night. And get the Q&A done quickly, because as much as we enjoy it, it's sort of hanging over our heads because it's been delayed for so long. So I think that we'd like to get done, but I can't promise anything. There are more boxes coming tomorrow, and if that's a lot of unpacking because we can have the boxes just sitting in the living room, so we might be too tired tomorrow, and we've been up really late tonight. But yeah, we'll try. We'll announce it ahead of time. If not, it'll probably be the night after, right? I have a very lighthearted question. What's your favorite stream meme so far? I really like Buy My Statue. Buy My Fucking Statue. If we ever do merch, which some people have been interested in, but I think that's a fair ways off if we ever do it. I don't know if it's possible, but I'd like to look into actually having a statue. And because I think that would be funny. The meme comes to life, and I can say, buy my fucking statue for real. I know that many people won't even get it, the joke, because the Reciteer stream was fairly early on. There weren't that many people here, but it was still a popular stream, and I think it would amuse me to have that. I really like the Ass Eaters. The Ass Eaters was just the meme that just kept on giving throughout that whole playthrough. I really enjoyed doing, I was expelled. Did you hear about that? I really enjoyed that. I like Batman Waffles' voice. A lot of the Persona 5 ones were really enjoyable. I would like to I'd like to play the other Persona games, and hopefully they'll be just as good. But I wouldn't want to push it and try and recreate that atmosphere on and force it. I think it has to happen organically. There's a lot of things where the stars just align. Like the Ass Eaters were just really funny because the dialogue just so happened to match up with it, right? In the game. It was good. But yeah. I think those are some of my favorites. For real? Wasn't there a sequel to Reciteer? Was there? I don't think it was very good if there was. Can someone explain the Ass Eaters meme to me? Uh-oh. Who was that?
I think it was Theo.
Yeah. Maybe he had cried out in his sleep a little bit. I checked
on them when I went to the bathroom. They were both okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard that. One of the kids cried out very briefly from upstairs just then. Yeah, so while we were meeting the teacher for the first time in Persona 5, someone said in chat with the rage face, eat her ass, and that really made me laugh. And that kind of became a mini meme before the big meme. And when we named our group in Persona 5 later on, chat forced me by gunpoint, a hold up, just like in Persona 5, forced me to call it the Ass Eaters. And since then, there was a lot of lines of dialogue in the game that made that name really funny. And the rest is history. There's a highlight reel of Persona 5 on YouTube by Papa John's if you want to see the story of the Ass Eaters. Most of it's there. It's a pretty good video.
Thank you to Rogerson Raj, who resubscribed with Prime for 9 months.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ass Eaters. Oh, I have a really bad habit of slamming my finger down on A. Maybe you've answered this question, but what game are you working on reviewing at the moment? Love your work. God of War. God of War. Something horrible will have to happen for it to not to be done this month. Although the fucking monitor and all the stuff still isn't here, so...
Which is weird.
Yeah, it should have been here already.
Maybe it's not coming.
Maybe we lost some stuff.
Because there's a few boxes. It's more than a few boxes that should have... the stuff that was shipped on the last day has gotten here before stuff that was before then, so I don't know. It's
a bit weird. But yeah, God of War, and then finishing up a couple other videos on some Super Nintendo games, the 2017 year in review, and then it's Witcher time. It's Witcher. It's Witcher time. Yeah, so yeah, they'll be good. I'm looking forward to playing them.
Hey, Texted, how you doing?
How's it going, Texted? Weren't you doing a video on Nier Automata? Did that fall through? No, it'll still happen. It was meant to be before Witcher, but lots of things got in the way. Odyssey took too long. I pushed too many projects in front of it. Just poor project management on my part, but also the move was really disruptive. Like stuff like Subnautica, I tried to do shorter videos because I knew I didn't have time to do the longer ones, and then the shorter videos would end up taking more time than I realized, like things like that. So yeah, that'll still happen, but it'll be after Witcher now.
I look forward to the video so you can convince me to play it in the first 5 minutes, and I have to pause the video for a month.
What are you doing, Bus? What's this guy doing? What's this guy doing? Look at him just like swerving left and right. What the fuck, Miss Frizzle? What the hell? Yeah, you better get off the road. Yeah, go down to Ausfart. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Holy shit.
Which your videos will be posted separately?
No.
Have you decided?
Okay. They might be posted separately, but I'm not making them separately. So, and a lot of people have suggested this to me: make them separately, and then you can wean off the project. That's not how I work. Other people might really benefit from doing their work that way, and that's the smart way for them to do it. It's not the smart way for me to do it. I like to make comparisons. I like to know points that are going to come later. It's how I write stories too. Actually, I need to know the end. So I need to know those points and reference them later. So even if I do put them up separately, I'll still need to break sooner. I'll still make them all together. So we'll see. But I think I'm just gonna put them all up together, and I'm expecting the video to be about 4 hours long. So at some point during this year, there will just one day be a 4-hour video sitting on YouTube for you guys to watch. And I think that I'm probably gonna have to tease it a lot before it comes out. So it's like a big build up. It's coming on this day. Here it comes. Mark your calendars, set your watches. Here it comes. Witcher's coming out. And then hype it up a bit.
Yeah. Do you like any strategy RTS games? Would you stream any strategy RTS?
I streamed They Are Billions a little bit. I enjoyed that. I don't know if I'd stream it. If something really appealed to me, then why not? But yeah, I like RTS games quite a bit. I was really into Command and Conquer when I was younger. The first game that I really got into online was Total Annihilation. I liked that a lot too. I was deep into StarCraft 2 for a while. Yeah, I liked RTS games. I feel like there hasn't been a good one in a while. Even StarCraft 2 is a bit more. I feel like it's just so heavy on micro, and it's again, it's like an arcadey RTS. There's something about it that that's very appealing, and it's very good. But there's just something missing for me. Oh, we did finish this one.
Will you at any point make a video that's longer than the actual game?
If you can speedrun it, I think I'm already there. And if you skip some of the things in Edith Finch, I think that video is longer than that one. T-Rex Runner analysis, my most serious video.
Thank you to Xyle Fenko, resubscribed with Prime for 4 months and says, before, buy my fucking statue. Now, buy my fucking pee hole. Things have certainly improved. Anyway, glad to have you back and wish you good luck with the remaining move.
The pee hole is all on chat. Come on. All on chat. Chat's influence. Minute video is pretty long. Do you play any Total War franchise? No, I haven't. I tried it out briefly when I was a kid, and I didn't take to it very well. But I would like to at some point. Yeah, that could be fun.
Edith Finch is my favorite too. Would you consider playing rhythm-based games such as Thumper or Crypt of the Necrodancer?
Thumper might be good, but I don't think I want to play Crypt of the Necrodancer. For some reason, it doesn't appeal to me. I mean, I'll try it. I'll try out almost anything.
Thank you to
why not?
Maya Yoshi, who gifted a sub to Jason. Thank you very much. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you. Welcome, hey, Jason. Thank you. And I think we're done. Right? I think you're done. We're done. I'm gonna go.
6 a.m.
I'm gonna go pee, and then I'm gonna take the dogs out, and which is just so much better now. It's just this. It sounds so stupid because it's such a little thing, but just being able to open the door and you're already outside is just so much better than you're in an apartment on the 4th floor and it's, you know, get the dogs ready, get your keys, go open the door, out in the hall, turn around, lock the door, go down the stairs, go in the elevator, wait for the elevator, go down, go to another door, open that door, open another door after that, and now you're finally outside. It sounds so stupid because like how much time could that really take? But it's just so good to be like, open the door, you're outside. You know, like it's so good. You should do Big Rigs for your next Q&A game. I think this is a really good game for Q&A. I think this might be the new Q&A game. But Clicker Heroes 2 is coming out in 2 weeks, so we're going to do that a little bit. But yeah, I think this game was just stimulating enough that it's good background visuals for chat and for the VOD, but it's also enough that I feel like I'm doing something while I'm talking, and I prefer to be doing something while I'm talking. Even Lily will confirm that for you. If we're sitting having a conversation, I'm usually doing something. I'm one of those annoying. I'm fidgeting right now. I'm moving back and forth in my chair. I can't sit still. I always have to be doing something with my hands. So yeah, I think this is good. I was gonna try playing Super Meat Boy while I was doing it because I played that before, and I find platformers very comfortable, but I thought that might be a little too much. But yeah, this was pretty good. Yep. But thanks, guys. So I think we're about maybe a third of the way through the Q&A questions because we kind of chilled and took questions from chat, and I gave longer answers. It's been a while since the Q&A, so I tried to be thorough. And yeah, that's it. So we'll see you again another time. I will give as much warning as I can when it's going to happen. And yeah, so thanks for stopping by.
Happy night, everybody. Or morning.
Happy birthday, Lily.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. See you guys later.
It was good.
See you later, everybody.